Hey, everybody.
Here we are.
Welcome to our recap of a recent trip to Walt Disney World. We were there at the end of September, beginning of October, and had a great time. And a lot of our viewers and readers here at Laughing Place asked if we wouldn't kind of share a little bit of what the experience was like.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What's your name?
Oh, go ahead.
This is Rebecca Mosley, co-founder of Laughing Place. I'm her husband, also the other co-founder of Laughing Place, and my name is Doobie. We were on this trip with our son Gideon. We were with a lot of family there. We were with a lot of friends there. We were also with Tony there. So now let's continue.
We actually lived in the Orlando area for about a decade before moving to Northern California, which is where we are now. And thankfully, we get to visit often.
So,
Hey, Donna.
Hi, Donna. Hi, Gio. So we are
Hi,
live,
Gio.
of course. One of the things we do hope to do here is answer your questions. So if you have any questions whatsoever about what's going on at Walt Disney World, I won't say these days because we left before Genie started, but what's going on at Walt Disney World other than Genie?
But we've explored Genie a lot, and
true.
we do know a bit about Genie as well. So.
And we also spent a lot of time at Universal Studios, so now's a good time to answer that question. Tony, Betty, wow, glad I tuned in to be offended. I'm so glad you are here, Tony. I'm glad you got to hear that. One of my great friends, Tony Betty. So let's get started.
Yeah, so pretty much how we're going to do this is we thought we'd talk. We spent time up at the Universal Resort area and down in Orlando. So we thought we'd start off by just talking a little bit about what the differences are between those two resorts. And then we'd talk about the places we stayed, because we stayed at several different hotels over the course of our visit. Talk about our dining experiences, and then some of the more special like add-on events that are available at these theme parks, so that just gives a better idea rather than it being kind of a travel loggy kind of thing. So we'll start off with the Universal versus Disney.
Tony, to be fair, I would say I'm probably about 3/4 of the screen, but yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay.
So we started off at Universal Studios. We stayed at Cabana Bay there. Spent 4 days there before spending 4 days at Caribbean Beach. So going to Universal Studios versus Walt Disney World, the huge difference going right now, like today, is Universal Studios recommends masks indoors and Walt Disney World requires masks indoors. And when you're in Florida and they recommend masks indoors, that means nobody wears a mask indoors, which we're perfectly fine with. I was very happy to be there and not having to mask when I go indoors. It was hot the whole time we were there, and masking was quite uncomfortable. So but if you're someone who's a little apprehensive, just keep that in mind. Going to Universal Studios, every place you go indoors, they recommend it. That simply means that 90% of the people will not be aware of that. But man, we love Universal Studios. We're obviously huge Disney fans. We do this whole Disney website thing and been doing it for over 20 years.
When we were first living in Orlando, we actually didn't really visit Universal Studios Resort that often. And when we did, it was kind of on a lark. I mean, yeah. It was we'd go for maybe a couple of hours. We wouldn't spend a whole day, that's for sure. But now that resort area is really delightful to be around. The variety of attractions has expanded, and initially, because it was so thrill-based, it didn't really appeal to me. But now with the additional elements that they've put in, the Hogwarts experiences, should say Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley, the entertainment that is available in both of those, it's kind of padded out the experience. I used to joke that Universal Studios was like a Michael Bay movie. And then it was just like boom, 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 boom all day. You didn't really have a moment to rest. It's still a bit more that way for me than the Universal parks are. I mean, than the Disney parks are. There isn't as much opportunity to just kind of, hey, let me jump on an attraction for downtime. I really find that I have to, that's more just about finding a bench or walking. There's not really per se an attraction that, I mean, there's a couple, don't get me wrong. It's not like there's none, but it's just different from Disney.
But it doesn't feel as assaulting as it used to. Right. I don't know. There's something about Universal Studios back then that felt kind of assaulting. The music is loud. But I think the addition of Harry Potter, even though I'm not a
Yes.
huge Harry Potter fan, it's just kind of changed the mood. It's kind of changed the atmosphere a little bit. Our son loves Men in Black. We spent a lot of time over in the Men in Black area, which is also kind of a quietish area. There's not a whole, Fear Factor Live is closed. There's not a whole lot going on over there, so that's
Yeah.
a bit quietish. Um,
And
but
the Discovery Center at and the Jurassic Park area, while it's been there, we spend more time there now because our son's interest in dinosaurs. So that's a nice respite. I really now with the addition of Velocicoaster, sitting on that second floor veranda, grabbing a quick snack. I'll be honest, I think the biggest downside for me as far as Universal goes is their food quality. I don't really enjoy their quick service is not particularly delightful to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. No one's quick service is particularly delightful to me.
But around the corner from that zone of dinosaurs is an area where I can get a scoop of chocolate chip cookie dough, and so I'll just grab that and sit on the veranda and watch. And that view where you've got the Velocicoaster directly in front of you, and then out onto the overall area of the park is really beautiful.
There are a lot of lovely views there. I don't Iowa with the big lake in the center is just always a great view. And there's something I love the city feel of Universal Studios. Just when you're first walking in there, and the way it just feels like you're in a city, that always works for me. But look at this. This is Islands of Adventure with what's that? The Mythos area and the High in the Sky and all of that.
Which is an amazing dining.
It's a very beautiful park. It is a beautiful park. I mean, Disney parks are beautiful too. I'm not saying it's more beautiful than Disney, but it's certainly not considerably less beautiful than Disney, especially with the addition of the Harry Potter area. So it's just I don't think of Universal Studios as a completely different experience. It's almost, you can, if you have access to both, you can really think of it as just an extension of, instead of 4 Central Florida parks, there's 6 Central Florida parks. They're at that quality. You should not push them to the side because they're Universal. You should consider them, especially if you're a Harry Potter fan or you're a Jurassic Park fan. It's just an extension of the Central Florida theme park experience. They're not secondary to Disney.
And part of what's really increased our interest and our enjoyment of Universal has been discovering the amazing Cabana Bay Resort.
So yes, and I'm going to say it right now. If you are on someone, if you can stay at Grand Floridian, Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, first of all, you're probably making too much money to be watching this podcast. But if you are on any kind of a budget, if you're trying to look for a hotel that's in that $200 a night range, at Disney, that means you're looking at the moderates like the Port Orleans or Coronado Springs. And at Universal Studios, you're looking at Cabana Bay. Hands down, there is no question in that price range, Cabana Bay is the best hotel in Central Florida, in our opinion, and that's where we have stayed. This is my 2nd time there, Rebecca's 3rd time there. The theme is so much fun. With the what is the theme? Retro 50s fake toilet paper.
It's a nicer quality toilet paper than we have found at Disney Resort.
It matters. But what is the theme of Cabana Bay?
It's a retro. It's a retro look, like the mod.
It's almost like Incredibles 2, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Incredibles 2.
You've got these delightful not cartoons, but commercials and video clips playing in the main dining area with its fast food. Yeah, see, Donna understands. Toilet paper is important.
I mean,
but I just laughed because
important.
it had been a topic of discussion on just before we left, and so it was on my mind when we popped into the Cabana Bay, and I was like, oh wow. And the just beautiful murals. And this is the room that we stayed in during our initial trip.
This trip.
No, this is from our last
before?
trip.
Okay.
Mm-hmm, yeah, okay. But it's similar rooms. So I grabbed a couple of pictures. The one that we stayed at previously was a split suite, which is not in the price he was talking
about. A little bit more, not a lot more.
Yeah, and it came with a kitchenette, sink, a little refrigerator.
But the basic room that we stayed in this time is just, the two. I don't know if they were queen or four.
Yeah,
queen. Yeah, they were definitely bigger than the beds at Caribbean Beach. They were infinitely more comfortable than the beds at Caribbean Beach. I'm still recovering. I'm thinking about sending them a chiropractor bill. that bed was like sleeping on a rock, and maybe I don't know. Anyway, but we love our Cabana Bay. And Cabana Bay, so the pool there, they have a huge pool with sound underwater, which is no big deal, except it's really cool. And then they also have a lazy river, which is just so much fun. In your hotel, there's a nice lazy river. So, and then they have another second pool. Right now, it's only on the weekends. You just passed it, which has this really cool slide. There's the main. It's not really the main pool. This is actually the secondary pool, but they treat it like the main pool. It's open every day. And then the lazy river is just off screen on the bottom. Oh no, it's at the top there. There it is. Yeah, there's the lazy river.
It's up in this area right here.
And then the other one is open on the weekend, and it's got a big slide that Gideon got to experience. If he wants to type in the comments what that slide was like. And right now it's only open, at least when we were there, Friday through Sunday. So just a great pool experience, and an overall great hotel. Enjoyed the food there. They have a big food court type thing that, it works just fine. And we love Cabana Bay, and I expect the next time we go there, unless I get a big raise from the CEO, I will be staying there again.
And one of the other things that I really enjoyed about Cabana Bay is I found that the team members, that's what they call their cast, their employees at Universal.
That's funny. That's what they call their cast.
they call them team members. And they were all really helpful and friendly. Like I needed a luggage cart at one point and I instantly had somebody who helped out. In the evening, I realized that I didn't have decaf and I preferred to drink that. So I was able to text, and within about 15-20 minutes, they hung a bag of decaf packets on the door so as to not disturb. Really, really impressed with Cabana Bay. It is a simple bus ride to the parks if you wish to take advantage of that.
And it's a frequent bus.
Very, very frequent.
I mean, when they say frequent, they mean it. That bus is so.
Because we actually typically, because I have a scooter, I would, and it can totally be on the bus, but just for ease of, for me, I would drive to the resort, and the rest of my family would board the bus and take it, and we would end up meeting up at the exact same time at the down their CityWalk area.
The one downside is when you get let off the bus, the way Universal Studio works, the CityWalk is kind of the hub of places. So even when you get off the bus, you're still a pretty decent hike.
But it's closer than if you park your car.
Definitely closer than if you park the car. And there's no way to get any closer.
Right.
It's just, that's the way it is Universal.
Valet now.
No, Valet is basically the same.
They reopened.
Yeah, but it's
still the same you're location. Right. It would dump you off at the same location. Yeah,
so
you're right.
It's just a hike. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
They want you to, they talk about exiting through the gift shop. You're entering through CityWalk, and there's no way to avoid it.
Yep. Now over at Disney.
No, quick question.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Mr. Fulton March, the answer is yes, I did. Thank you very much. And Jonathan Erickson, what is the temperature where you are at? It is cold.
Currently, it's 61, and there's a typhoon outside.
Those classic Northern California typhoons.
It's one of those things where all of the Northern California TV stations are storm watch. Yeah, so it's raining. It's impressive.
It's like a 4-hour nap this afternoon because this is just that's that kind of weather.
Over at Disney, we stayed at the Cabana Bay Resort.
Probably Caribbean
I'm
Beach.
Sorry, Caribbean Beach. Let me try that again. And we actually got a pirate room,
which is fun to look at. But our beds were similar to beds pirates would have slept on.
we were not fans of the comfort level of these beds. Oh, it was really hard for him, especially.
Yeah,
not so much for me.
I am not the typical sleeper. You can see me here. I might weigh more than you and your spouse combined, but it was not perfect. And the bed was also smaller. It was not a queen. I'm guessing it was a full. So I shared a bed with Gideon. So Rebekah shared a bed with someone else. That sounds weird.
So, my sister was with us. So my sister and I were one bed. The boys were in the other bed. But the thing that was awkward to me about that bed is because it is this beautiful, and I do love how created it is. The way and yes, you're right. So this mattress is actually seated on the base of this pirate-looking bed. It didn't have like a box underneath the mattress. So yeah, it was a little bit, but it was a beautiful room. I liked the room itself. The bed was a challenge. For me, it was a challenge in that this lip around the bed to accommodate the construction made it a little bit more challenging to get in and out. But I mean, I would sacrifice that for the fun of the pirate room.
It's like, and it is fun. Don't get me wrong. And it was
so like this barrel. You see this big wine barrel? You could open that up, and there was a little mini refrigerator in it. There were drawers inside of these crates. Yeah, and then this is a Johnny Depp is represent Captain Jackson there somewhere.
Yeah. My only complaint, the bathroom's fine. The only complaint was the quality and size of the bed. So, but I did want to also mention, so at Cabana Bay, they still use, go to the counter, they tell you your room is ready, you go to the counter, they give you your key, everything is hunky-dory. At Disney, they so strongly encourage you to check in with the app and then just use your phone to access your room. So we're like, let's finally do this. Our first time doing this. We get to our room and the phone simply does not work. We tried it every which way and it would not work. We called guest services and they said, we'll have someone there as soon as possible. We waited maybe 15 minutes, called again, and they said, I'm sorry, we're as soon as possible. This happens all the time, which did not instill
No, you're forgetting a step. Okay. I got impatient and opened up our suitcase and dug out our magic band in hopes it would work. Oh. And then you called them back to let them know
that it worked.
And
no, this was after I called them again.
Oh, really? Okay,
I called them twice. I called them twice to tell them it wasn't working, and they said, we'll send someone. And I'm like, this still isn't working. Can you, should we just go to because we had a car. I'm like, should we just drive over and get a key or something?
Yeah.
We've been here a while, and they're like, there's got someone on the way. And then Rebekah dug through, found a magic band, and the magic band worked, whereas the phone wasn't working. And it wasn't a matter of like the phone RF or something wasn't working. We are, I can't remember why we know this, but we know just the phone simply would not work, even though the magic band would.
And so you called them to let them know that the magic band had worked, and they said, you're lucky.
Yes.
Right? I mean, that was what they said. They said, well, we're glad that worked for you. That's not that's not typical.
So I mean, not only in the
it didn't instill confidence.
If this happens that often, it would have been nice for them to be prepared to, especially since we said, should we just drive over and get a key or something? And so that's not the Disney service we're used to. We were tired. We were, at least this was the middle of the afternoon. If we had just gotten off a plane at 11 p.m. or something and this happened, that would have been.
You would have been cranky.
They would have got a piece of my mind, as my mom used to say. But as it was, I could see the Skyliner off in the distance, and I was okay.
That is one of the very nice things about this resort. It's actually very close to Jamaica and Trinidad. It's kind of like there's a triangle between like Jamaica and Trinidad, and then you have the station. So we were in the Trinidad area.
Our room was quite close to a Skyliner, a short walk away. One morning, I just woke up while the rest of the family was hanging out in the room, got out there and did my Skyliner run, because that, for me, is the highlight of any trip to Central Florida, is riding the Skyliner, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Another element of Caribbean Beach that has changed from the decades before when we stayed there is that I was trying to turn that off. The Centertown Market area is now very heavy mobile order available. Otherwise, what they do is they have a central queue, and you order your food there, and then you're assigned to a pickup station. It isn't like before where it was more of a food court feel in that you would go to this booth or that booth to place your food. There's like a central ordering area. And then all of those are now designated pickup areas. So we had an easy time ordering via mobile order from our room, and then just driving over to pick up the food.
Yeah, mobile order, when it works, which in our experience is almost all the time, is just the most wonderful thing in the world. You simply don't wait for food anymore, and it's beautiful. I love mobile order. So it's been a while since we've been to Caribbean Beach. Everything now is in that center town. It used to be, back in the day, they had the check-in at some completely different area, which was always so weird. But now everything is at Centertown. There's the check-in area.
At Old Port Royale. Centertown's the food area.
At Old Port Royale, sorry. There's the check-in area, Rebekah's showing right there, and the main pool is there, which we thoroughly enjoyed as well. So
and it has two slides. It has one slide that's fully open, to the sky, and then the second slide is a tube slide, and it's quite dark, and fun.
And obviously, these pictures are not from this past trip.
Oh yeah, no, some of these are from holidays trips
Christmas
gone by.
decor and no
Yeah.
masks. So.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of mixed and matched pictures, so to make sure I got a hold of everything.
You will be masking indoors at Walt Disney World, including the resorts at all times, except when seated and eating or drinking.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, we recommend Caribbean Cabana Bay. It's definitely our recommendation. There are other Universal hotels which are also reasonable and good. If you're trying to save a little money but still have a nice resort hotel experience, especially if you have a car. If you don't have a car, you maybe don't have that choice. But if you have a car, piece of cake to drive down for, and you're there.
And then one other thing that I got to use this trip that I hadn't previously is the laundry, self-service laundry, and they're plentiful at Walt Disney World at your resort hotels. And no longer, I used to always make sure that I had quarters with me on trips, and no longer is that necessary. It hasn't been necessary for quite a while, but this was my first time actually using the new system. It's really simple. Slide in a credit card, hit which machine you're using, and you're good to go. They have you can easily add like small increments of time on a dryer. It's really simple stuff.
Yeah, I was so amazed when you told me about the laundry facilities and how efficient and simple they were. That was a nice surprise.
And
Jonathan,
you can even monitor them on your phone if you want, so that way you don't have to. You can check before you go to see if machines are available. You don't have to walk all the way over there. It's a really nice system that they have set up.
So the pools. So we did both pools. Cabana Bay, plenty of time in the pool there. Caribbean Beach. I don't know if you did the pool in Caribbean Beach.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I sat poolside.
Rebekah did not.
Cool.
But Gideon and I spent we spent one day where we just spent multiple hours in the pool. Our good friend Tony joined us, and his girlfriend Morgan. That was probably the single greatest day of my year so far in 2021, was spending hours on end with Tony and Morgan. So we highly recommend the Caribbean Beach pool, especially if you can go with Tony and Morgan.
And then there's one other type of vacation that you may vacation housing that you may not have considered, and I'd like to give a little bit of a plug for it, and that's VRBOs, like small vacation rental homes. And there's a location called Storybook Resort, and it is really convenient off the. I don't know why it's not showing my pictures. Okay. What?
No, I was just telling you to take the comment away.
Oh, okay. They
you have to reshare the screen.
It's new software. I'm still getting used to it. The thing that I really like about using a vacation rental when you're doing a longer trip to Disney World or Orlando area is that it actually gives you a little bit of space to get out of each other's way. when you're at a theme park, right, you're in queue all together, you ride the rides together. I mean, family time is wonderful and fantastic. I'm an introvert, and after a while I need a little bit of just personal space in order to recharge, because that's an awful lot of time to be around people. And at the Storybook Resort, and these are places we've stayed on our own. This is not a paid sponsorship. This is a place that we discovered because I have a large family in Orlando area, and one of the things we like to do is we book like a large house here, and then all of us can stay together. Grandparents, aunts, uncles. There's like 12 to 15 of us there at any given time, and they're located just on the 417 there. Osceola Parkway.
Not far, like 5-minute drive to property.
And they often will be in the price range of a resort hotel room, but you've got your own. You can get a residence with its own pool, and a lot of times then they also have a large pool or resort area that's available to everybody staying there. For example, this place has a lazy river along with slides. They have a pool bar there. They have evening activities. And like I say, it's just nice to have a lot of space available to you to kind of, give each other a little bit of just a little personal space. And
very often they'll have themed rooms because they know their market. So this one we stayed at had a Hogwarts Express room,
Stranger Things
room, yeah.
And then the Hogwarts room, you had lots of paraphernalia. It has
oh man,
it had a large theater room.
We lucked out with this one, just the way things worked. We normally don't stay at one this nice, but even if you have a large party and you do, because you're splitting it among, this place probably had 6 or 7 bedrooms, so you're really splitting it up. You can end up spending, $50 a couple there, and just get this incredible place. It's not a hotel, but it's incredible, and with a lot of funness too. And you will not consider looking on VRBO and seeing what's out there, and you may find that that's just the way to go. We go this way almost every October when we go with extended family, and it's perfect. It's just the way to do it.
So you can find varying themes and whatnot, and they will have a lot of pictures available to you. For us, the one that we're talking about, the storybook, it's like a 7 to 10 minute drive into Disney World. You're not fighting the I-4 traffic. That's the kind of thing that when you're looking at staying off property, you might want to take a look every now and again at, one of Waze or Google Maps or something, and get an idea of what traffic patterns can be like from the areas you're looking at off property into the resort. Because the last thing you need during your vacation, right, is to be in bumper to bumper traffic. That's like, who wants to do that on vacation? Yeah, that's your work day.
And there are certain locations, including Universal, by the way. Be careful. If you're staying up at Universal when you're leaving at the end of the day, you can get caught in some I-4 traffic, and that can be a bit of a pain. So
just some things to keep in mind.
So let's get to Disney. I mean, we are a Disney website.
Food.
And the most important part of any trip to Disney is food, which I tend to enjoy. So we made a point on this particular trip last month, to have lots of different kinds of food. We did not skimp on food whatsoever.
Nope.
We had so many incredible dining experiences, and we're going to go through some of them. Yeah, Mac.
Yeah, Mac's not at all familiar with traffic on I-4.
There can be traffic in Florida. When we used to live there, it was fairly rare, but apparently word got out. The Mosleys are gone. We should move there now.
Oh, we're in the Bay Area, East Bay Area now. We had lived in Orlando for about a decade. We're currently in the Bay Area with about 2-3 more years, and then we'll be back in Orlando.
So Mac and Tony, we're coming back.
Yep, we're coming back.
All right, so
do we want to start with the one of our favorites that we return to on the boardwalk?
Sure. So we have, there's so many places you can say, oh, this has the best this or best that. There is no question what the best breakfast on Walt Disney World property is. No question. We would recommend this without any hesitation. The best place to go for breakfast at Walt Disney World is on the boardwalk. It is called Trattoria Al Forno, and it is amazing. Amazing. Why, Rebecca?
Okay, well, I am in love not only with
chairs.
I'm not only in love with the decor, the location, right? It's right on the water, so you've got the beauty of Central Florida skies and openness. But they have an amazing steak and eggs.
They do.
And but the winner for my family, I think, is the Mickey waffle.
The Mickey waffle there is unlike any. Mac wants us to come back, and Donna says, "Don't leave."
Yeah,
the Mickey waffle at Trattoria is the best Mickey waffle you have ever had. And when we complimented on them, they're like, "Yeah, we hear that a lot." And what's special about it?
I think it uses a different mix than the other.
I think she mentioned
the
waffles
on property.
So it's just fantastic. The Mickey waffles are great. Our son is like, just give me a bunch of Mickey waffles. But do you have what I had there?
I might get to it. This is the oak grilled. There's an arugula. Hang on, let me turn this off while you talk about it, and I'll find it.
Well, it was some kind of eggy thing and some kind of tomatoey thing.
Nice.
That helps, right?
Yeah. You look on that paper right there. I thought it was a mozzarella omelet. Did you not get the basil mozzarella omelet?
I don't think so. I got that last time. I don't think I got that this time. All right, here we go. It's live. This is not the menu. Oh, that was it. That's it.
Okay. Hang on.
Oh, man, I don't even know what it is.
Okay.
It's got this bread stuff. And then it's got the egg. See that yellow there? That's egg. And I don't remember what's the. Oh yeah, it's like a poached egg. There we go. Poached egg with some bread stuff. Oh,
Is it the Al Forno eggs? No, I got the Al Forno eggs. See, this is mine. Mine was better.
Yours was great. Mine was better.
No, mine was better. So mine was spicy, not super spicy, but it had a little bit of spice. A nice crusty bread on the side, but not too crisp. Right? It wasn't like a crouton. It was a bread
just
that was
perfect,
crisp.
right amount of crispness.
Yeah.
And I tried yours. Yours was great too, and the Mickey waffle, and the steak is great too, according to our son, who's a big steak fan. Just everything here is so good, and the servers are extremely friendly.
This was a tiramisu French toast that was really incredible. It was
more bread stuff.
It was delightful in the layer of flavors that you got all of the elements of a tiramisu, but in this French toast. So it was a great way. We actually ordered. We got this as like an order for the table and shared it because we'd all gotten an entree. So then this was kind of like a little additional element that we all shared. And there's Minnie enjoying the next door location. So,
and both times we've been recently, we've really enjoyed our server there, just really friendly. The decor is nice. It's just a perfect place, and it's at the boardwalk. So as Rebekah said, when you're outdoors there, it's beautiful with Crescent Lake there. You can see the beach club, the yacht club. You can walk around the boardwalk. You can take the Skyliner there, get off at Epcot, and then it's just a 5-minute walk over the bridge. It's just a perfect place to eat at a perfect location. And I can't recommend that is the breakfast place. I don't think we will go on a trip to Florida again.
And just to give you an idea, that breakfast entree that you saw for me was a $15 entree. The other thing that I really enjoy there is their press pot coffee. It's a unique blend that has like some sweeter berry notes to it. They say cantaloupe. I wouldn't tell you that, oh, I tasted cantaloupe in that, but it has a nice little sweet element to it. So I didn't find that I needed to put a lot of extra sugar in my coffee. It was nice just to have black with the lightest bit of coffee to take off just a little bit of the bitter edge. I'm not a total like black coffee drink. I'm not a total like nothing in my coffee drinker. But so yeah, so it was good.
Fun fact, when Rebekah and I were dating, I was at her house one day and her father came over to me and handed me this piece of fruit. And I looked at it. I'm like, what's going on here? And he says, what is it? And I said, it's a cantaloupe. And he says, there you go. He's officially telling me that we cannot elope.
Get the message.
Fun fact.
It was very funny.
24 years later. We have our 24th anniversary on December 28th. All gifts, graciously.
No, stop. Do not do that. I'm so embarrassed. We decided to hit an old favorite during this trip. We happened upon a late night. One of the things that's nice about being a West Coast visitor is that our dinner time out here is like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, which means it's beyond closing there. So we can often find a late night dinner reservation very easily. And in this case, it was over at the Ohana at the Polynesian Resort, which afforded us the opportunity to see the beautifully reconstructed monorail station.
The whole resort had just finally come down from all its walls, so it was fully done when we showed up. And it's beautiful, truly beautiful, as always. And we went to Ohana, which means cousin, and cousin means family, and family means no one eats off of behind or something. So.
No, that's not
how that works.
No, that's not how it works. You weirdo. So I know that I have information about Ohana there for you.
Okay, so Ohana is a I want to say a buffet. It's not a buffet, but it is a family style, all you can eat. $55 per adult, $33 per child. But they will keep the food coming and coming and coming. They've got chicken wings. What do they have there? Because we're so limited in what we eat. They have teriyaki beef, peel and eat shrimp, grilled chicken, and they don't have any kind of pork.
Yeah, they did. They have pork dumplings.
Okay, pork dumplings.
Yeah.
We don't do the pork or shellfish thing, so they just make sure they load us up on other stuff. And then I'm a vegetarian, so they have a whole separate platter just for me, which has some really good stuff. I am so impressed with the plant-based offerings that Disney has begun offering at all their locations. And when they do it at the family style locations, and we did this and we did Sebastian's, you get your own plate
with
all different stuff. This is my family style. This is my vegetarian.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember what it was, but everything you see there, those meats are plant-based, and they do them really well. I'm so impressed. I really, really enjoy them. Mac wants to know how many Lapu Lapus were enjoyed.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I wanted to try the Kona Brewing Company, like a beer flight, but they were out of the beer flight, so I didn't get to have that. I think I ended up ordering a sangria instead, which
But my favorite part of the food is fine. It's good at Ohana. Don't get me wrong. I love Ohana. But my favorite part was the guy with the, what is he playing? The ukulele. And we asked him to come over and we said, can you play the song from Lava? And he stood there and he played the Lava song. I hope will come true that you're here with. It was so beautiful. And then after that, he played the famous Israel, I don't know his last name, song.
The Izzy version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
And it was just like a perfect moment at the Polynesian, hearing the only 2 Polynesian songs I know being played live right for me. It was perfect. I loved it.
It was really nice.
And he's like, I'm done. My set's over. See you guys.
Well, it was the end of the night. It was like there were like 3 tables of people there. So
it was great. Eating late. This was not the only time we had a very late dinner. We'll get to the best one later. It's a special experience. And if you can put off dinner until the final sitting, it's a special experience. Recommend it.
Yeah, we like it. We often do it. Like I say, because we're West Coast time. So.
Oh, well, influencer.
Yeah, hang on. So they're not seeing it.
I'm sorry. I will stop looking over there. This is our this is our family. I'm the one on the far right. Rebecca's on the far left, and the person in the center is Gideon, our 12-year-old boy.
And there's Doobie doing his influence.
This was me influencing. Yeah, this is how we really make our living. The programming, the website, this is nothing. I get paid a lot of money.
No, this is our hobby that started because we met on Main Street.
There he is.
And so we just have fun sharing our Disney memories with people, and it became a website.
Gio did not like the bone in the chicken at Ohana.
Really? It was yummy.
That's interesting.
You didn't like the bone-in chicken?
Was the dessert bread pudding?
It was a caramel bread pudding. Yeah.
I'm such a bread pudding fan. Yeah. I love that.
So it was really yummy. See?
Yes.
Right? Is that it?
And this was like our second night there, and we had so much food left to go.
Oh yeah.
So much food left to go.
And then we hopped on a monorail.
We did a monorail. Is this the night we did the monorail hopping?
No, we just I think we went over. No, we just did a little bit. Oh, it's because you're comparing it to the original. Okay. I don't have.
I did have noodles.
I don't remember the Ohana previous chicken well enough to offer a comparison. I liked it on its face.
My favorite Ohana thing, and this was back before they even had a plant-based thing, where I just had to eat from the main thing, was the potatoes au gratin.
You miss the Ohana potatoes.
Oh, good. Yeah. I am so sad that's not there anymore. I would pass on all the fake meat in the world just to have a big heaping bowl of the potatoes with cheese.
But you liked the chicken.
I liked
bacon,
it all.
Right?
No, it was all good. The sausage was the best.
Mm-hmm.
The fake sausage was really good.
And then that's the same fake sausage that we encountered later in the trip, right?
I believe so. Yeah. So that's something they get right. Is the fake sausage. It's really good.
So, and the stuff that looks like pulled pork is actually jackfruit.
Which this was the first time I think I've actually had jackfruit. It always scares me, even though I eat plant-based. It's good. It's actually good. I'm no longer afraid of it. Now I'm just.
It was really tasty.
Timid.
And then before this all came, they give you a salad. I don't know why, because who's going to eat this?
But
I love their salad. It has this citrus vinaigrette that's really tasty, and I did enjoy it. But I tried not to eat. No, I tried not to eat too much of it because I want to eat the yummy stuff.
Like it was bread too, right?
Oh yeah, the bread was really tasty with yummy. The coconut. And everything. So yeah.
So Ohana, we highly recommend. Not our favorite family style, as we will get to that later, but no hesitation, right? And expensive, $55. That's good. But really good.
And
really good.
And it's especially expensive when you compare it to the place we did really enjoy that was family style. Do we want to go there?
Yeah, let's just go there. Family style to family style. So we were able to have this little tiny restaurant at the Caribbean beach that's even tinier right now because they still have kind of spaced out seating. It's called, how do you pronounce it again?
Sebastian Bistro.
Sebastian Bistro, based on the character from Little Mermaid. And wow, were we impressed with this place. It's hard to get a resi here. We assumed just because of its size, but apparently I think the word is out on its quality too. It was so good.
You can barely make it out in this picture. I was trying to figure out how to zoom in more.
You
there
did
we go.
it.
And you can see the fireworks. So we got to enjoy fireworks while we were eating. So there you go.
So this is at the Caribbean Beach. It's the only sit-down restaurant at the Caribbean Beach, replacing used to have a Shutters restaurant that has been shuttered, and now they have Sebastian's.
Can we tell our favorite
Shutters story?
Shutters story?
Sure.
Okay, so long ago, my family of 10 walked up to Shutters and asked if we could sit, and they said, "Oh, we're sorry, we're not taking walk-ups." And so we were disappointed, and we had to go over to the phone. I know, it's one of those things, it's on the wall, and you pick it up. And so we picked it up, and we called Disney Dining and said, "Dude, my camera just doesn't want to focus today. It's gotten really bad." And said, "We have a party of 10. Where can we find to eat on property?" And they're like, "Oh, there's this an available time in 5 minutes at Shutters." And we were like, "Okay, book us there." So we booked it, and then we turned around and walked right back up to Shutters and said, "Here we are with our reservation." And that was like my favorite.
Story.
And so we used to always tell people, I'm moving around because I'm hoping it'll like refocus or something.
Should
What is
we,
it
close
doing?
it and open it real quick?
Yeah, I'm going to try closing this little thing and then reopening it. That's so weird. It's just, I don't know.
It looks fine up there. That's what's
right.
So sorry if we're a little fuzzy.
Yeah, let me know, Gio. Am I as blurry to you as I appear to me? Because it's really frustrating.
Yeah.
So here, let me put this on big, and so we can be tiny. Yeah.
Yeah. See, now we look fine.
There we go. We'll be super tiny in the corner.
Okay. All right. So Sebastian's is a family-style restaurant. Do you have prices there by any chance?
Yeah, it was up here for you, right?
And they don't have a la carte. It has to be family style, right?
Yeah, it's family style.
$28 per adult, $17 per child. So literally half the price of Ohana.
No, you can tell I took too many pictures. This is dessert.
And it's family, so you're gonna get just as much food, have as much as you want.
Let me move to the other end of the meal.
It is tiny, so you are going to want to get a reservation. The service was excellent, just as excellent as any place we had this trip. Even more excellent. Just something really friendly and very comfortable place. You have to like island music, particularly Samuel E. Wright, because you will hear a lot of the voice of Sebastian in that restaurant.
So it started with pull-apart rolls that were really yummy. Did you have the thing? Oh, yeah, they call them buttery house baked, and the butter that's served with it has a little bit of guava. So it's got so it's a little sweet with it. But what I adore is alongside it, you can see it in that blue dish, is a caramelized onion jam. Now, if you've eaten at Wilderness Lodge, Artist Point, they used to have this caramelized onion jam that they would serve alongside their beautiful cut of bison. And this had that same flavor profile. And I was so happy because that was one of my flavor memories of Walt Disney World, was that onion jam. And so I was really, really happy to see that still exists somewhere now that Artist Point isn't open to that kind of dining. I also noticed that onion jam is listed on a burger over by Wilderness Lodge Pool, but that's just a personal obsession.
Once again, they waste time and space with salad, but it was quite good.
And again, this one has a very tangy citrus dressing. In this case, they go with key lime. Those large items are kind of a type of radish, not as strong as your traditional radish, but really tasty. No. And then they have the toasted pumpkin seeds. Really yummy stuff. What did you get to drink?
I don't remember what this is. It's some kind of drink, non-alcoholic with ice cream. It was fun. I don't know why. I'm eating family style and I still pay like $8 for a drink. But...
Oh, no way. Mac just had that burger over at,
Oh, how funny.
Yeah.
Just yesterday.
I love that onion jam.
That's hilarious.
I almost dragged you all the way over to Wilderness Lodge on our last trip to have it. And then we were at the Bistro.
Mac was just
they
that
offered it. So the meal itself is family style. Here you see the oven roasted citrus chicken. In the middle is the slow cooked pork with mango side sauce. I think it's called sambal. And then a grilled flank steak with mojito relish, There's also cilantro rice, some beans. There's a vegetable curry. There's some grilled broccolini. Those aren't pictured here. So this is what it comes out on a tray like this, and then they replenish it as you dine. So there's your vegetables.
I don't remember what it was. I remember the rice was really good.
It's vegetable curry, cilantro rice and beans, and broccolini.
Green thing.
And then,
but this stuff,
plant-based.
This is what you're eating. So you have you. I don't make glasses.
Oh, it's.
Oh, Gio says, was that cotton candy on top? I thought it was ice cream. Was it cotton candy?
I can't recall because you had cotton candy on your drink at Space 220.
Right. I don't think
so. I didn't taste whatever that was. I didn't taste.
I don't think it was cotton candy. So here, the thing on the left is, we don't know. The thing in the middle is tofu, and the thing on the right are fake sausage, and those were both amazing. The plant-based sausage they do is just so incredibly good every place. I'm so impressed, and I'm a huge tofu fan. This tofu was cooked perfectly.
Okay, so it's an impossible kebab. It's jerk tofu, so it's that Caribbean spiced on tofu steaks in the center, and then the impossible sausage on the right.
Yeah, and the kebab is fine. The tofu is awesome. The sausage is awesome.
The jerk tofu was amazing.
I think I had them bring me like 4 more sausages. Just so good. But the tofu was great. I love tofu so much, and the sauce. Like I said, if you're a vegetarian, there is no better time to be going to Walt Disney World. Don't hesitate to go to these family-style places because they've created these wonderful dishes just for you, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, you're no longer, I mean, I can remember when we were first married and going to Walt Disney World, a lot of times it was noodles and vegetables.
Yeah.
It was a lot of marinara.
And if you go to the family style, okay, well, we'll bring you extra whatever the non-meat items are.
At Ohana, it'd be extra noodles, which isn't bad.
Yeah, and by the way, you don't have to be vegetarian. If you just want to try more stuff, say, oh, I'm sorry, can we also get the plant-based platter out here? They'll happily bring it to you, and you can, expand what you're getting. So.
Ooh, Geyser Point has. Oh, Mac, I so wish I was living in Florida already. That sounds so fun. I love
margarita fan.
No, you know what I'm a real fan of at Walt Disney World right now are all these flights that they're doing, because it's like the same price as an amount as like a single drink, but you're getting to try several different flavor profiles, and I love that.
You know who likes to try drinks?
Well, yeah.
Hi, Edith. Welcome. She overslept me.
It's okay.
Pubs have reopened.
We're having some fun right now. We're talking about Sebastian Bistro at Caribbean Beach, and your finale at this place is a coconut pineapple bread pudding.
More bread pudding. They love me.
With the most amazing caramel sauce I have ever had.
That's saying something,
right?
Yes.
But do you not agree?
It was great.
It was not. This was a better caramel sauce than Ohana.
Yeah.
This was an amazing, to the point that we asked for, we had some left in there, and we asked them if they wouldn't mind giving us a to-go container, and they were sweet enough to bring us a to-go container, and my sister used it in her coffee the next morning.
That's true. That's true.
So good. You felt bad leaving any behind, but you felt gross just getting a spoon and eating it straight out of the thing.
I would have sucked it through a straw, frankly. But the bread pudding, you can't go wrong. So Sebastian, there you go. Sebastian's. If you want family style, go get Sebastian's at Caribbean Beach. Pass up Ohana, pass up Fort Wilderness, just pass it all up. Go to Sebastian's. You won't be disappointed.
The flavor profile is similar because it's that
island.
It's that island's seasonings and everything. And I didn't find anything here like spicy. It had some of the fruitiness that you find when you eat it at Polly. But we'll tell you from what we've gathered, Sebastian's is a quick disappearing item. So if it pops up in your experience app as available, book it. Because we didn't see it pop up again during our trip. My sister just she is a whiz when it comes to hit the refresh and book things. I still can't believe that we ate at Ohana, we ate at Sebastian Bistro, we ate at Space 220. And that was all because of my sister missed my sister's fast finger refresh. Refresh and book.
And if you go, tell them Influencer Doobie sent you.
Don't do that. Do yourself a favor.
Mike, Sebastian's just jumped way up my list.
Yeah, you'll have to let us know what you think. We were really impressed, and being able to be there over the time period where we were able to look out and see the fireworks later in the evening was good.
And this must have been later in our vacation because I'm shaved. I didn't shave till like the last couple of days. So we had been eating like crazy, and we still love this place so much. So, but yes, Rebekah's still salivating over margaritas.
Look at this. You've got a pumpkin margarita, apple, blood orange. I'm not a big fan, but see, in a 2.5, it'd be smaller.
I am looking forward
and then some sort of chili
to
pepper.
moving back.
That's
so you have. I don't drink, and
no, not at all.
And Rebekah drinks extremely responsibly,
and not very often.
And not very often. So I'm looking forward to her having some drinking buddies to go out and do some responsible drinking with.
But if you love the music of Samuel E. Wright, I know, I'm so sorry. If you love the music of Samuel E. Wright, you will definitely recognize a lot of the music at Sebastian Bistro, because
Doobie and Rebekah is
better than this. It is like Mardi Gras.
That was the worst part with the music. I'll be honest.
Doobie had a really hard time with that. Where do you want to go next?
So let's stick with the food for a while because we're so much enjoying food. Skipper Canteen. So we got to go to Skipper Canteen, and we won't spend a lot of time there. It's been around for a while, but we talked about how cool it is to eat at a restaurant towards the end of the day. There is no place better than Skipper Canteen because I think our reservation was at 9:30 on a night. The park closed at 10, something like that.
It was late.
Yeah, it was like a half hour before park closing was, whatever the park closing was, and so by the time we finished, the park had been closed, and they didn't rush you through.
Wait.
What does Gideon say?
So our son Gideon, we watched a show from BBC called Death in Paradise, and it's in the islands, and so it has this wonderful steel drum music at the beginning. So as our son says, when I heard it, I thought there was a murder.
Da, 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 da.
And it's both. There is some Mardi Gras. I'm pretty sure there's some Caribbean jamboree in there too. So yeah, but this is the place setting from when we sat down to enjoy our meal at Skipper Canteen,
which is located in Adventureland inside the Magic Kingdom, and it's a nice, leisurely, moderate, upscale priced at least restaurant. So there's no rushing through there, and the food was great. We love Skipper Canteen. Service is so much fun there, as you'd expect in a Jungle Cruise themed place. Our server, I don't remember why. I just remember thinking this server is so good. We just really loved our server there. We got the balzo dough and I don't remember what this is, but it was incredibly good. And I know Mac, you like your bread stuff.
This is a yummy bread stuff. My challenge with and
the fun drinks. I got 2 of them, the boba balls.
This is actually a mixture of 2 visits that we've had.
But I got this drink.
Yeah, no, this is from our first trip. So I just wanted
sangria.
It was a sangria.
But the best part here was when it was all over, the park was basically. Oh, did we go with Tony?
Yeah,
Tony was there.
Yeah.
Why not remember that? No, I'm just kidding. I remember you were there, Tony. Brazilian cheese bread.
I will say, for me, the one challenge with Skipper Canteen is the food is spicier than I expect at a theme park restaurant. It isn't too spicy for me. It's almost too spicy for you.
I'm all right.
Right? It's almost too spicy because you got the same thing I did. I got the tofu noodles.
It's spicy, but all right.
And it's a little bit on the hot side. They have their
Oh, poor Mac.
You were busy. I know you were busy because I did think about it, but you were busy. The crispy fried chicken that they have there, it's more of a panko batter. So if you're someone who likes a more traditional, like simple breaded chicken strips, that's not what you're going to get here. It's that really light and airy, almost tempura style, but very thick on it.
Which is yummier.
So it's so it's different in that way. The noodle bowl was tasty. I'm trying to remember what else. So I think somebody in our crew got the veggie curry stew. So yeah.
Working right now. So, and Tony can tell you what he got if he remembers.
Yeah.
But when you leave, the park has been closed for like an hour.
Yeah.
So the park is just deserted. You're almost walking out by yourself. There are times you plan it right. It takes a little bit of effort, but you could get a picture with just you on Main Street all by yourself. And that's just a special thing. That's not the most common thing in the world. And so don't pass up that opportunity. just have a really late meal just before the park closes at a place that's not a fast food place, and you'll kind of get the park to yourself, and it's really cool. Yes, Edith, thank you. I am doing lots of influencing there.
The other thing I was going to mention about this is that what Judy's talking about with the booking is that's not only the case at Magic Kingdom. We've done that we booked a late night dinner at Epcot.
At the other side of the park.
I was actually in France.
Yes.
And so we ended up walking out. But we, when it came to this Magic Kingdom trip, we actually bumped into a friend at Monorail, and that was fun. I don't know. It was a moment that popped into my head. That was fun because it's like
who did you bump into?
It's not very often that the monorail station isn't that chaotic when you're leaving the park.
Oh yes, of course.
And so we'd been there late enough at night where we could actually notice that. We
said, "Hey, person we know.
So
how you doing?
Yeah,
nice to see you."
And you couldn't have done that during normal operating hours because it's just too chaotic.
So it's fun.
Sorry, this fact that I can't do this and have it not be blurry is really frustrating me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But we're not going to let it throw us off. We're blurry. That's life. You'll survive.
Yeah.
You know what we look like.
You know what we look like.
You know what we look like. It's not that special. Space 220.
Woohoo!
So the single best dining experience I've had at Walt Disney World in a long, long time was the food court. Was Space 220. As Rebekah mentioned, her sister, Princess she's not a Mosley, Princess Rachel was able to get us a reservation. Just legitimately, she just has this way of going on at just the right time, and so we got a reservation only a couple of days after they started having reservations, and we went to Space 220 for dinner, and we did not really know what to expect. We just knew it was the newest restaurant at Epcot, and we wanted to check it out. And so we did. And in a moment, we're going to check out some pictures from it and talk about the single best dining experience I've had at Disney World in a long, long time.
Oh, here we go. Sorry.
No problem. We're coming. So, Space 220, as you know, is located at Epcot over by Mission Space. It's themed to a restaurant on a space station 220 miles. For you, Edith, that's approximately 600 kilometers in the sky. You take a space elevator up to it. As you do, you can watch the Earth rescind below you as you go way up into the sky. And then you step out into a lobby area where you can see a lot of the plants that they're growing on the space station, and then into the dining area.
I thought you were going to talk about the food. Hang on. If you're going to talk about the actual place, then let me pull up those pictures.
I'm just setting it up.
Yeah, I can actually pull up those pictures.
All right, we're going to pull up those pictures. So this is the entrance to it over by Mission Space. You walk in.
See, there we are.
You take pictures where it's okay to take a mask off for pictures. And then this is the space station you're going to go up to. This is once you're up there. The these aren't hydroponics, just the growing area where they're growing the vegetables you'll be eating. And then you're out into the dining area, which has just lovely views of the Earth and the space station, or the parts of the space station. You can see astronauts doing various work. There was the mission space vehicle over there a moment ago. There's funny looking guys looking backwards over their shoulders. Influencers are allowed up there. So we did not really know what to expect. I'll tell you what I was expecting. I was expecting a cheesy themed restaurant. You go up there, you see cheesy sights, you eat mediocre food. They rush you through like they do mini themed restaurants.
My sister's watching. Say hi, Rachel.
Oh, hi, Rachel. They rush you through like they do mini themed restaurants, and you get out and you go, well, that's something I never need to do again. But I'm glad I did it. No, that's how I feel about a lot of themed restaurants.
Really?
Not that I didn't enjoy it, but okay, I've seen the shtick. I don't need to do it again.
Name one of them like that.
Give me a moment.
Okay, I'm just curious because I'm like, I enjoy themed restaurants. They're just like not what he's saying. Jeffrey's saying
Rainforest is a good example. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy Rainforest. Don't get me wrong, and it's not that expensive, so it's not that hard to go back. But yeah, Rainforest, T-Rex. They have their shtick.
Okay,
you do them. You don't need to go back.
So you're saying
the food's mediocre.
It's a place where you're going to pay more for food that you don't enjoy as much on its face, but because of the environment, you're willing to pay for the upcharge on that food item. Right. Okay. Exactly. Okay. I'm just making sure I understand.
Yeah, I don't mean that as a knock at all. And the service is not spectacular, and it seems like not that they're rushing you, but it's certainly not a leisurely meal.
Gotcha.
In out, Move along. Okay, that's just what it is. No
Well, that's
problem.
fine.
That's what I expected at Space 220.
Okay.
That's not what I got at Space
No,
220.
no, not at all. And
Not by a long shot.
I expected a very immersive environment, I expected servers to be in character. I expected there to be greater like story involved with it, and it really felt like you're in a restaurant and you're in space, which I didn't. I expected it to be a space restaurant. Which it's like, I know that's like a subtle difference. No, I know that's like a subtle difference.
Totally what you mean. Yeah.
But I like my server was the same as a Terran, a server on Earth.
A Terran?
Like an Earth person. It was just an Earth person server, and
they
weren't like, I didn't feel like I was getting some sort of astronaut trained person or anything like that. It was just, hey, I got a job here, and now I take this elevator 220 miles up into space, and tomorrow I could be, working my other job down the street. Yeah, I mean, and I don't mean that in a bad way. The service was amazing. The server was impeccable, but it was just, I thought there would be like a little more showy.
Right, and for some people that can be a negative.
Yeah, but no,
for me, it was
wonderful.
A positive. It was going to a high-end, expensive restaurant that happened to be in this really cool setting, but the setting was secondary.
Yeah.
The focus was on the high-end, nice restaurant.
Thank you, Mac.
She says Taryn because that's her favorite podcaster.
No, I mean, yes, he is, but no, that's not why. But they, you totally threw me off. That's really funny.
That's all. I've never heard the word used otherwise.
Seriously?
Yeah, I didn't know that was a word.
Person.
And no, is that from a movie or something?
From science fiction in general, from science in general.
Twiggy?
Yes, stop. I'm not going down that road with you. But
yes, there is a pop rock.
You haven't been to Avengers Campus yet either.
No.
So there you go. I haven't either, but
I know.
I pay attention. But I pay attention to our coverage. Okay. I know there's a place there called Terran Treats. So there you go.
Gotcha. That's why Mac appreciates.
But pop rock. So see.
Thank you, Mac.
See, Mac and I.
I expect Mac to know this. He is the VP in charge of alcohol and Marvel for Laughing Place.
But so it starts off, for me, the fun started with the drink, in that they offered pop rocks. I was really excited. I was really happy to see that they were having some fun with it, because after we walked in and we saw the environment, and it was a beautiful fancy restaurant in a space setting, but with not very much like kitschy stuff actually going on in the restaurant itself. My server wasn't dressed weird. My plates didn't look weird. I was kind of like, wasn't sure. And then I look at the menu and it's like, oh, pop rocks, yay. We're having some goofy fun with it. And the kids' drinks come in these little, and this is for children. So our son got this, but it's like a Space 220, liftoff rocket cup. And my drink was featured Tang, the drink of astronauts that people my age know. So yeah. And it had a little piece of astronaut ice cream on it too.
So Space 220 in general is a prefixed.
Yeah.
Prefixed, which means fixed price.
It was $75 for a three-course meal
for adults, slightly less for children.
Yeah.
And that's appetizer, entree, and dessert. Several choices for each. Portions not tiny.
No, they were rather substantial for this type of restaurant. Oftentimes I joke that if I go to a fine dining location, I end up grabbing something else to eat afterwards. And that was not the case here. I did leave full.
And just the food was, in our opinion, and I'm not a foodie, but I thought it was just great.
We were actually there as a party of 6 adults and one child. No, adults. 5 adults and 1 child. 5 adults,
yes.
And we almost all ordered different entrees and appetizers, and so there was a lot of meal sharing. And I don't think anything truly disappointed. There were some things that were enjoyed more. There were a few people who were like, oh, I should have got your entree. I like it better than mine. But there was nobody who was actually like, oh, man, this is disappointing.
And
this is the mozzarella burrata appetizer.
That's a jiggling ball of cheese. Come on, how good is that?
It was really tasty.
You can see it jiggling right there.
I want to say this is calamari.
Yeah. No, isn't this the cauliflower calamari?
Oh, is it? It's your.
Yeah,
it's your,
this is the
buffalo. The buffalo. Yeah, the buffalo. Buffalo. I've used to say buffalo like 28 times.
Buffalo.
It is that spicy buffalo hot sauce stuff on baked cauliflower with a dusting of blue cheese, and then the carrots and so it's like a rendition of hot wings, but using cauliflower and it was a nice appetizer.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, it's a nice really, vegetarian option.
It was very really zesty. Good,
unusual. Look at that jiggling.
He loved his mozzarella.
I love.
See.
This is like the only really goofy thing in the restaurant.
Was in the bathroom. The sign in the bathroom. They had some funny stuff. So back to food.
Yes, I have no idea what this is. This couldn't have been mine.
This is yours. This is the bolognese.
Oh yeah, so it's like I'm not one of those healthy vegetarians, so I'd rather have real pasta than this stringy stuff. This was actually pretty good. What is it? Spaghetti squash with bolognese and stuff. And it was good. It was good. It was probably the least favorite part of my meal, but it was not bad at all.
Here, let me describe it to you from the menu. Those are corn linguine. It's a macadamia nut ricotta.
That part was great.
It's a tempeh ragu, and then you've got zucchini and mushroom in there as well.
So it was good.
Yeah.
I'd just rather have, real pasta, real cheese. That's one slight disappointment. If you're a vegetarian and not a vegan, all of their vegetarian specific stuff is always vegan. And so if you love your cheese and stuff, you just don't want the meat. Too bad.
Yeah, and no, you're right, Gio. It was a nice amount of food. But even on my own, between the appetizer, the entree, and the dessert, it was very filling. This is the fillet that came with a potato and leek croquette, which I will say is a fancy word for hash brown, but it was like a mashed potato hash brown.
Did she say, "Shall we play hash brown"?
No, but it was really tasty. It was a nice piece of filet, really tender. And then throughout our meal, we were invaded by there were various things that
it's all quiet out there. Just stuff floats by, and there's some humor there. You can see a guy walking his dog and stuff. But it's not the focal point.
Because we're so blurry, I can't go back and forth like I intended. So I'm.
That's okay.
Okay.
You're doing fine.
It's frustrating me.
Well, then do it. People don't mind.
Yeah.
Do whatever makes you comfortable.
Okay. So you talk while I do this.
So outside was stuff that would float by. Sometimes funny stuff like walking your dog. There'd be people carrying space parts. All totally silent because, of course, in space, no one can hear you scream. Sometimes you see the mission space vehicle flying by, but the outside never, ever detracted from. There was nothing that made you go, look outside, stuff is happening. It was always totally just background stuff happening. There's someone walking his dog. Where we were, so it's not a rotating restaurant. So whatever your view is, that's going to stay your view. So there are certain portions where your view is the earth, and you can see the earth down below, and it goes from daytime to nighttime. But where we were, it was just space. So it was basically just black sky, stars, except when astronauts would float by and do various things, which was kind of a surprise. I thought we would rotate and see the Earth go in and out of view, but that's
But this is a realism-based experience, and so the notion is that there is an elevator that is attaching you from Earth all the way up into space, and so therefore as the Earth moves, right, the restaurant is going to have to move with it, so therefore your view of Earth is always going to be stationary. You're always going to have that same view. I was thinking it was going to be like a rotating environment, and so that was a little bit surprising.
Gio has an important question.
No, they did not attack
intruder
at all. Yeah, no, they didn't. As far as Rise of the Resistance goes, they've gotten rid of boarding groups in Walt Disney World already. You can either be standby or you can purchase a Genie Plus. It's an individual lightning lane purchase. So
And this restaurant, Luke, is Space 220 at Epcot.
Yeah, and that's where we are right here. This is Space 220.
So in short, Space 220, very surprising experience. I loved it. I think I probably even loved it more than most of our party. I recommend it unabashedly. Look at the price. Look at the price. The price is not cheap. Think, can I afford this? Do I want to spend $75 on a meal? If the answer is yes and you do it, my prediction, you will not be disappointed. You will love it. If the answer is no, I don't spend $75 on a meal for nothing, don't go. It's not going to make you go, oh, I need to spend $75 all the time. It's not going to do that.
They do have a nice bar area as well. It isn't a reservation location currently. It's a walk in, and that wait can be quite long. It is a new location. So keep that in mind, because you can go there, grab a drink and that type of thing.
I mean, it's a fairly good sized restaurant. My guess, purely guess, is the hubbub over this will pass given the price, and you'll be able to get in there with a reservation without too much trouble as time goes on. But that's just a guess. I could be so wrong, and I hope I am, because I really hope this succeeds. So that was Space 220. Any other? I think that was the major. We had one disappointing dining experience we can talk about just a little bit. Toledo, which is at the top of the Coronado Springs Resort. So that's not the best view. I know. So Coronado Springs Resort has a restaurant at the top of its newest tower called Toledo. We ate there a couple years ago, and it was one of the best dining experiences we've ever had at Walt Disney World. It was the best vegetarian meal I've ever had at Walt Disney World. But before you even get in, while you're waiting, they have a balcony with just some incredible views of the whole resort. This is the view from that balcony. You see the Swan and Dolphin, Spaceship Earth, Animal Kingdom. But once you get inside, it's kind of a unique feel to it. It's this great hall.
Hey, nice shot.
It's real. Oh boy, that's embarrassing.
There he is.
These are much more fun when I don't have to see people see them. Keep going. Some of the 50s. It's a really huge hall that everyone kind of sits in, so it can get a little bit noisy. Mm-hmm. Our first time, we were in a back room, so it was a little quieter. So that made it different than what we got this time. And the food, our first time, at least for myself, like I said, was one of the best vegetarian meals I've ever had at Walt Disney World. This time, it was not. It was just a little disappointing. So this restaurant,
the location itself was beautiful as it had been. Yeah. The decor is really stunning with these windows. The kind of the atrium feel of the main dining room, but it is an open floor plan, and it has a tile floor, so the noise did get rather surprising. And that's when it's always been one of my complaints about the California Grill location, is because of its open kitchen design. For me, it's noisier than I like in a fine dining experience. I know that's kind of a popular pattern among fine dining, but I prefer a more quiet, easy to conduct conversation environment when I'm going out for an expensive meal. And that was not the case at Toledo.
So this has gone from one of those, we really can't wait to go back there restaurants, to we may not go back there restaurants.
This was really tasty. It was like crushed tomatoes and seasoning on like a crusty bread. The food was tasty. The disappointment was in the lack of variety for you. I'm hoping that's like a COVID menu circumstance or a supply chain circumstance, because the last time we went, there were 3 or 4 just really amazing and creative options available to you. And this time,
I remember I had vegan calamari. I don't know what it was. I've never had calamari in my life other than that dish, and it was just amazing. And it wasn't there, and I was so looking forward to something like it instead of basically the one choice I had here. So
and then since our meal was not as exciting and enjoyable as we hoped, we thought, well, hey, we'll grab dessert. And then when we looked at the dessert menu, nothing really appealed to us. So we ended up hopping over to downtown Disney.
Disney Springs, they're calling it these days.
You're right.
One of our best experiences, we decided to take the advice of Lou Mangello of WDW Radio and head over to the Boathouse for dinner. Actually, you wanted
No,
to go to Gideon's Cookie.
Yeah, we
Gideon's
were
Cookie
gonna go
place,
get Gideon's cookies because we thought, well, that'll be fun.
but they weren't taking any more.
Their line was already closed, which is something to note. Even though their hours of operation may be till 10 o'clock, they will close that virtual queue early so that, obviously they don't want to be adding people to their line so that they're staying there until all hours of the night.
So it's like 10 something. We're walking around trying to find something to eat. And let's see if the boathouse is taking walk ups. And they were. And, for those of you who know WDW Radio, Lou Mangello says there is no better place in the world than the boathouse.
And he wasn't wrong.
Yeah,
First of all, they brought these yeast rolls to our table that were amazing.
We're like, we're here for dessert. Yeah, have some bread.
Have some bread.
Mac, if you're still around,
that's some good bread.
Put that on the list for the bread stuff.
I agree with Mac that we need to have a ranking of Disney World bread.
Disney World bread.
Yeah,
and this
we need
is
to
high
have
on
a draft.
the list.
We need to have an LP draft of Disney World bread.
Ironically, Gideon loved the boathouse bread. So, but we got, is this our dish? Did we get this thing?
My sister and I shared this. It was a turtle cake concept. It's an enormous piece of ice cream pie. So that is a slab of vanilla ice cream with macadamia nuts and caramel and chocolate, and it was crazy.
It seems so simple, but I just kept eating it. Once they were done, eating it and eating it. It's so good. What is this? Is this more alcohol?
This is the key lime martini, which imagine a key lime dessert. Like it's like a key lime smoothie, but it's so sweet and yummy. It was so good. With that kick to it because it's alcohol.
I always taste her stuff even though I don't drink.
This was my sister's.
This one was good.
We were sneaking drink. We were sneaking sips off my sister's drink. That's a graham cracker rim. How clever.
Have you had this? Have you had this, Mac? This is good.
It was really, really tasty.
I felt very smug when I was having this.
And then there is a chocolate martini of some sort. I can't even recall exactly what it was called, but it was chocolate and it was martini, so it was good.
What did I have? I don't know what I got there, but that looks like what I got. I'm always in the mood for a strawberry shortcake.
It was a strawberry shortcake.
And I love a strawberry shortcake. He's not a big key lime fan, but he's had the chocolate one.
It was tasty, but the key lime one I thought was better executed.
Having this followed up with the scraps from her turtle thing on the boathouse I was so glad Toledo disappointed because we got to go to Dippy Springs and just chill at the boathouse. There was this loud party next to us that was just driving me crazy. But in hindsight, it's just making me laugh. And
they were just a big family having a lot of fun. It wasn't.
They were doing nothing wrong.
No.
There was no profanity. No drunkenness. I just can't stand noise.
Well, no, we had been at Toledo where we were thinking we were going to have this nice, quiet, elegant meal, and so then we went to Boathouse and it looked almost empty. There's only like one other table being sat because it's so late and it's like right near us. And it's this really gregarious family just having a blast. And it was just one of those moments where you're like, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
it was good. It was really good. Oh. Dude, that does look good.
It reminds me that I hope they open Hoop-de-Doo again sometime.
Right?
Yeah. All right.
Dude, back to Blurry Us. Sorry, I'll stop mentioning it.
And then I think the only other one I wanted to make sure we mentioned, going back to Universal Studios, is I think now there is one restaurant that when we go to Florida, we absolutely have to do. And it's not at Disney. It's Toustum Chocolate something Emporium at Universal Studios CityWalk. We go there all the time now. We just have such a good time there. It is so much fun. I believe they have bread. Mac, am I correct? They have some sort of a bread there. And then you have some sort of an entree, so you feel like you're having some healthy. And then you just get one of their amazing desserts, mostly shakes that are so good.
This is a shake.
That's a shake. And so I did this.
And yeah, Jeffrey's right that Yeehaw Bob did throw out there the rumor.
He did?
Yeah, he threw that out there. I haven't heard any other independent confirmation of it. He mentioned it in his show the other day.
His word is gold.
And then,
thank you, Gideon. It's Emporium and Savory Feast Kitchen.
I just referred to it as the Emporium, so that way I can confuse everybody.
All right. Luke saw this photo on Facebook. Yeah, hashtag. All right. So I went to something at Universal Studios, and then I left to go to Tucson with my family. But I had to go back to Universal Studios, and I know I couldn't do that if I had the shake. So Rebekah actually took the shake back to the hotel for me so that I could have it when I got home after all my Universal stuff. And I'm so happy she did.
Which led to an awkward moment that is like too PG-13y for me to share here. But if you ask me privately, I might tell it to you. But it was kind of funny. But like I say, too PG-13y for me to share it here.
Gia wants to know: was that a cake and a donut on there?
No, it's a cake. It's just cake. Yeah. But it's the rim of the mug is coated in confetti sprinkles.
And so you can like kind of.
So like the one that he got was a vanilla wafer flavored one. And so it had the vanilla shake and everything, and then something on, I can't remember what was on top of it, but instead of confetti sprinkles around the top, it had vanilla wafers smashed all around the top of it. So I was carrying that back to the room.
So if you're Universal, highly recommend the twosome.
I recommend this thing. It's a pot of chocolate wonderfulness. It's a really delicious pudding. They call it a pâte de crème, but it's just so good. See, look at that.
Oh, it's like a pâte de crème.
It's so good. It's a pot.
Why is there an aquatic I had on the table?
Because it's like how you keep the sun off your face.
So Twosome Emporium at Universal CityWalk. Can't recommend it enough. I think we're done talking about food. That was the highlight of our trip, with a bunch of food. Once again, we're live, so if you have questions or comments, use the chat for that. Please reassure Rebekah that we're not.
Don't even mention it. I know it's bad. I can't do anything about it.
It's not as bad for them. No, not too many people are staring at it on a 17-inch monitor 5 inches from their face. So.
That's true. Okay.
Okay. Sorry about the video quality.
One of the really special things that we did that was new to us, but's been around for a while, was near the end of the run for Happily Ever After. And so we went ahead and booked the Ferrytale fireworks cruise
with Minnie.
With it's what they call a sparkling dessert cruise.
I have a question. Boathouse or Twosome?
Not for Summit. We don't need to have Benji come along. We can just go ourselves. We can just ditch bed and all just
Benji sitting around going, let me check out what the people are doing on the street. What?
We can just have fun.
Can't even watch it.
So here's Minnie getting ready. This is what they do is they set up a wonderful dessert spread, like a buffet of various desserts and food items on board one of the ferry boats. And they drive you around the Seven Seas Lagoon and let you enjoy that. And then the fireworks start. And so our particular voyage was set up for 6:45 in the evening. And they give you a lanyard with Mickey. I don't know what you would call this thing, but it's Mickey. Look, it's Mickey. But when you hold it up to your eyes, it creates little magical experience. See, they describe it here. Look through these lenses when the fireworks flare, and you'll find something magical in the air. Mickey Mouse will be in each burst of light, making the sky an enchanting sight. And I had some fun getting thanks, Rachel. That's my sister chiming in to make me feel better about the fact of glory.
Oh, Rachel, you're cool.
So they dish out some little complimentary. Well, okay, not complimentary. It's part of your
included, not free.
Included stuff. This is a nice adult beverage.
Yeah. So they once you get on board, everything is unlimited, including the adult beverages.
Mm-hmm.
So
because it's a limited time, you're not on board for too long.
What are you on for about an hour before the fireworks go, I believe?
At 6:45 is when we boarded. So yeah, maybe a little bit more than that.
Yeah, you're actually, you've got plenty of time to eat, relax, drink, get stuff before the fireworks actually come.
They had obviously non-alcoholic beverages, like they had something called Fireworks Punch, which was lemonade with pomegranate, liquid fireworks, which was pineapple juice Sprite with some blue non-alcoholic flavoring. So you had those to begin. I would fill those up for Doobie. There were orange cupcakes. Then there was the unlimited beverages for adults. They had a selection of wines and beers along with some mixed drinks available. I enjoyed a Prosecco beverage or two. The fireworks were obviously a heavy part of the theming on the evening. So there you go. Oh, these are some of the alcoholic beverages if you wanted to try them. They had something called the firework fizz. I didn't try that. It was rum, the blue curacao flavoring, along with pineapple juice and Sprite. That didn't really sound like my thing, so I skipped that one. But I did try the Prosecco with lemonade and the pomegranate. It was okay. And then I moved on. I had Bud Light. That's what I ended up enjoying while I was watching fireworks.
I had a lot of juice. A lot of juice.
Yep.
And they do a really good job of keeping everything refilled. You're not going to run out of stuff to eat. I was impressed by that. They also have a photo pass person on board, so if you're into that, they will walk around and get plenty of pictures of you. No pressure whatsoever. Obviously, it's Disney. And then I hear they had fireworks.
Yep, we did. We did see some fireworks, and see, when you hold up those delightful glasses, this is what it looks like over there. You get to see Mickey popping up on the little.
Gio said it's blue curacao.
Blue curacao. That is a flavor.
Blue curacao.
Oh, blue. Yeah.
Look for the.
Yeah.
So I don't remember the price. Was it $190? Shoot, that's it. So bad I don't remember how much it was.
Sorry.
I feel like it was about $100. Mac, if you have a chance, can you get the price of that? I feel bad that I didn't look it up, please. And we'll get that in the chat in just a moment. But I do remember feeling it was well worth it. It was just a unique experience. Not something you're going to do all the time, obviously, but fun way to get a great view of the fireworks.
The one thing I did notice a lot of was multi-generational families enjoying it together, because it's a way to see the fireworks that is not as packed as the main parks. Obviously, the ferry is large enough that people who wanted to sit could sit. People who were standing stood. If you had little ones, there were plenty of people there with younger kids, and they were kind of able to move about and everything and enjoy themselves without having to be kind of in a same spot. And then, once firework time came, then people would, go stand up towards the side.
That's a really good point. I was worried when I saw so many people bring their kids. I'm like, what are you doing bringing your kids to this? This is going to be miserable for them. Not at all.
Yeah, no, it was really, like I say, it was really pleasant. Some of the kids seemed to be playing beyond the other families, like, kind of like mixed family fun and everything. It's just a really different way to see the Disney fireworks. The music was wonderful on board. It was fun. Thank you, Mike.
And Gio.
Oh, thank you, both of you.
$99 for adults, $69 for children. Well worth it. No, without hesitation.
Yeah. And the desserts were all really tasty. And they also, if you don't totally want sweets, they also did have an impressive collection of cheeses and crackers available as well. They had a smoked cheddar that was, so good. I kept going back for
chef's kiss.
I kept going back for that smoked cheddar.
That's almost as bad as Fields.
So good, so good. But this was, like I say, it was near the end of the run of Happily Ever After. We were actually on board the ship while Laughing Place Jeremiah was in park. So if you go back and look at Twitter from right near the end of September, you'll see kind of combating Twitter images, as we realized we were both watching the same show from different locations.
Cover all the angles.
So yeah, and for us, the cast on board, they were getting a little nostalgic as the show was beginning to, it was going to be leaving soon, and they were all singing. They were all singing along, so it was really sweet. It made me cry.
Kind of a pet peeve.
I'm a soft touch, so it made me cry. I loved it. And it was really fun because I took over the Mickey head to them. And I was like, "Have you guys ever looked through these things?" And they're like, "No." And so I gave it to the cast. And so they went around passing it around. They're like, "Oh, look, you can see Mickey." I'm like, "Yeah,
that's cool. My wife. I love her."
It's fun.
And they got a parting gift.
Yep, it was so tasty. This cookie.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that's the Ferrytale fireworks.
Yep, launching from that spot. So it's really, really simple. And okay, that ferry had a bathroom on it. That's like the one ferry that
there's only one ferry that has a bathroom apparently, and so they use it for this show, because they can't keep you out there all that time without being able to potty.
Because you're docked for quite a while. You're docked for what, like half an hour before?
Honestly, I don't remember.
We were docked for a while, but then we took off. And then we were out there for longer than I expected.
Yeah.
And it was really nice because you're moving around. You're not just like kind of stationary.
No, you're floating. You're getting great views of all the Seven
Yeah.
Seas Lagoon
Around
resorts.
sunset.
The sun is setting.
There weren't. I thought there would be bugs because I'm used to the bugs
Disney's,
on. No, but I mean on the
right.
ferry
Ferries
boat,
can be gross,
right?
actually.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, nighttime ferry is can be ick, but this one wasn't, and which really surprised me. I was expecting to kind of be doing a lot of this while I was eating, but I didn't find I was fighting bugs.
Can we take a moment to look at the sky? This is why we love Florida. Oh my goodness, this is just every day. Such a beautiful place.
I love big fluffy clouds.
Oh, beautiful. That's why she likes me. I remind her of big fluffy clouds.
Sure you do. Big black ring cloud.
So big fluffy black ring cloud. Behind the scenes, you guys are getting the Patreon view tonight.
So there you go. So we had a great time. We highly recommend the Ferrytale fireworks experience. I hope to do it again now that Enchantment is here. I would like to see Enchantment that way. So yeah.
All right, so that was the Ferrytale. Let's take a moment before I think most of what we have left has to do a lot with the Disney World 50th.
Yeah.
So let's take a moment and talk about a special thing I got to do that I never, ever thought I would do. And that is Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios. We were at Universal Studios one day, and one of my best friends in the entire world, Tony Betty, showed up. And he was there to do Halloween Horror Nights. And so he mentioned, you play around while you
I'm going to try and get it to.
And I asked him something about it, and you got it. And he said, why? Do you want to go? And I said, no. And then I thought, wait a second. If ever I were going to do Halloween Horror Nights, this would be the time to do it. And thought about it and thought about it. I was thinking, yeah, I'm going to do it. And I did Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios, the thing where you go in these houses that are full of creepy guys screaming at you and all kinds of blood and guts and really gross stuff and not at all my scene. And I'm so glad I did it.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome.
Okay, so where did it surprise you? Like what was different than what you expected? Since you didn't think you wanted to do it, but you left thinking, I want to do it again.
I thought I would be walking through those mazes and get scared so much. I'm not a type of person to get scared easily, but I just thought that, the whole point of this is they're scaring people that do this all the time. So I thought I was going to have stuff jumping out at me. I'd constantly be flinching, and it wouldn't be that much fun for me. I would just be, apprehensive the whole time.
Okay.
I did not get scared one time. I did 9 of the 10 houses, and not one time did the scares get me. And I just had a chance instead to enjoy the immersiveness. And that's what I didn't expect. As a person, as a connoisseur of themed entertainment, a person who's made a living being an expert in this for the past 20 years, I did not expect to feel like the most I've ever felt inside an attraction. You go to Hogwarts or Galaxy's Edge and you feel like you're stepped into the movie, but that doesn't even come close to what it feels like to step into one of these Halloween Horror Nights houses and be stepping into I'm trying to think of one that we did. I'm not a horror movie expert, but like Beetlejuice or
there was one like Scare Town or something like that.
Yeah, there was one other IP one. I can't remember the IP because I haven't actually seen the show.
Okay.
But anyway, you're stepping into these things and you're just immersed in them in a way that you never are in any other theme park experience. And that was just fun. And the scare moments, since they didn't scare me, just furthered enhanced the theme, and all the blood and gut scenes, which, when you're in person, they're only going to make it so gross. It's nowhere near as gross as it is when you see it with all the visual effects or something that you see in a TV show.
You want to see how scary it
or
was?
A movie. The scariest part is the guy on the far left, Jeremiah.
Whoa, so scary.
So, that's what it did for me, is it gave me the ultimate immersive themed experience. And I didn't expect that, and I'm glad I did, and I look forward to doing it again. I want to do it with other, I know a lot of you experts, you don't want the IP. You guys want original stuff, and I like the original stuff. But, I want to do it now with some of the IP that I love. I've heard about the Poltergeist and how amazing that was, and I saw a video of it, and I'm just trying to imagine now being able to see my favorite horror movie of all time, to live it. That's something I wish I could experience. So, once I know what next year's houses are, if I'm going to go, I'm going to make sure I watch those things first. like the Netflix show I didn't watch, but I really enjoyed the house, just so I can then go get immersed in it. I loved Halloween Horror Nights. I shockingly did. Thank you, Mac. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Jeremiah, and all of Tony's friends and everyone who allowed this old man to come along with you on one of your sacred experiences. You've got a convert.
My favorite thing about the Halloween Horror Night experience that Doobie had, because I didn't do it and I won't do it. It's not. It is so like not my cup of tea. I know. But I was waiting.
Gideon, you are awesome.
I was back at the hotel waiting for him to return, and he said when he got back to the room at 1:45 in the morning that between midnight and by the time he reached the hotel, he had reached his 10,000 steps.
My step counter resets at midnight, and I got back to the hotel, and I was already over 10,000 steps. There is so much walking. I was so exhausted. I am 50 years old. I'm hanging out with all these in shape 30-year-old people, and I was dying. For those
of you in our age bracket, we were joking around all night long that he was Tom Selleck on Friends when he was the eye doctor, hanging out with Chandler and Joey. That's what we were really giving Doobie a hard time about the fun that he had over with Mac and Jeremiah and Tony and all of Tony's friends, because he was totally crashing Tony's party. The invitation was so sweet.
I appreciate all you guys letting me hang out with you. I know you guys are all saying that, oh, we really enjoyed the time you spent. I also recognize that I'm kind of your boss, so thank you for the kind words. I'm not full of myself. You guys are nice.
Okay, so now it's my turn to talk about the fun I had after Doobie left.
Yeah, so I had to go home and work to pay for the rest of Rebekah's trip. So I actually left on September 29th, I believe, and all the fun kicked off on October 1st. So
yeah, so I'm trying to decide, should I do this now or should I no? Okay, so I will share. This is not in any particular order, so I'm sorry, but you're being this is now Rebekah's slideshow. So the horrible time that you were invited over to your friend's house and they show you slides of their recent vacation.
I'll interrupt. Don't worry.
Okay, good. It was the 50th. What among the things that are available at the 50th right now is this scavenger hunt at the hotel. It's based on A through E attractions, and I just thought it was really a cool paper, so I grabbed it and took a picture with it in front of the media stand-up that they had somewhere. I wasn't there for a media event. I just happened upon one at the hotel, so I was like, cool, nice of them to leave this here so I could get a picture.
Can I just take a moment?
Yeah.
So it's one thing to be there during the 50th celebration, but it is a particularly special thing to be there on the actual day. So Rebekah was lucky enough to be able to be at Walt Disney World, experiencing this whole thing on the actual 50th anniversary. And I'm enjoying hearing it through your eyes since I had to go back to work.
Over at the Contemporary, they had beautiful celebratory imagery that they popped up on the, I want to say it's called the Bay Lake Gifts, but that may be because the one in the middle is like the Fantasia shop or whatever. But I love this color scheme that they've gone with this year with this iridescent purple and blue and whatnot. And then the lobby of the Contemporary has been completely redone. And I know there's been so many articles out there, so I'm just kind of mentioning like little highlights of things. But this is off to what this used to be the front desk of the Contemporary. Yeah, I know. This is among what the lobby of the Contemporary looks like. There's like a dining room table and beautiful Mary Blair art. And then they've got this mural and couches. It's really, Laughing Place has an article on what they've done with the Contemporary lobby, but it is so different and incredibly inviting and really bright and a celebration of Mary Blair. And I was in love, completely infatuated. And so I just wanted to share a couple of pics here. Yes.
I just want to type a message.
Oh, go ahead. Okay.
You need to put there for me.
Oh, okay. Another thing that I really enjoyed being there as the 50th approached was that they had different messages on the bus marquees. So over for like the Animal Kingdom Lodge, it said celebrating 50 years of jungle jokes. And for Hollywood Studios, it said celebrating 50 years of character cavalcades. But my favorite one was, I can't remember which resort. I want to say it must have been Magic Kingdom. And it said celebrating 50 years of kids driving cars. Yes, and cute. That I love that.
That is my favorite of the little 50th things that they did. That's very clever.
They had another one that was like 50 years of turkey legs. There's all kinds of stuff. On Main Street, right? They had the Vault shop. replacing the cinema area. They had this beautiful Mr. Toad statue, which I thought was kind of cute because over at Disneyland, that same Mr. Toad is currently a magic photo pass option. And then at Epcot, right, there's the Spaceship Earth. And I can't, the pictures are beautiful. It is so photogenic, but I can't, being there in person, it's so awesome. There's this beautiful feeling when everybody's eyes, one of the things that I love about the Disney experience, especially in the evening, is its communal nature. Because more and more we are so isolated and separated from each other. I mean, like even movie theaters are becoming less and less of a theme where we now watch movies in our own home. And I'm an introvert. So, you know, it's not like I'm rushing out to be with people all the time, but I do like when we are when we're united in a single event of interest. Like I love sporting events for that reason. And Spaceship Earth's Epcot ball like takes that same feeling for me. It's this communal moment where you're there and all of a sudden it's just really gorgeous and beautiful, and it has varying images that'll pop up on it. It's lovely. What are we doing?
Oh, thank you, Gideon. Thank you very much.
I was there for the debut of for one of the early shows of Harmonious. I can't remember if I don't think this was specifically the debut. I think the debut happened the day before. Yeah. And one of the fun things when a new show appears is seeing how excited the cast is. Down in the left corner of the picture, you can see the how much of the custodial team had gathered and was watching Harmonious as we walked. I didn't want to just stay in one spot. I wanted to wander. This for me wasn't about experiencing Harmonious. This was about seeing Harmonious, seeing how other people were watching Harmonious, and walking around World Showcase. As I passed by the pavilion where the Epcot previews are, I can't remember the name of it right now. All that cast, because you know the way Epcot works, right? The park shuts down when the show starts. You know, it's like the same operating hours.
And this actually is the first show.
And so the cast had all stepped out from inside the Epcot experience, and they were all just lined up there, all standing there right at the edge of their location watching. And you had these cast members for custodial there, and you had over by Norway as many as could, you know, because you know there's still plenty of shutdown work to do. But yet those who were available were out there checking it out. You can see the Stargate right here, right? That's what I'm going to call it. You can see it right here. This is from way back at that bridge that walks you from Epcot's main thoroughfare over towards the Epcot experience. So that's the kind of view you get from there, right? I'm just trying to give you a feel of what Harmonious looks like, not from premier locations, from secondary locations. There's the enormous screen. You can see one of its barges off to the left, the arms, you know, you can make them out. Yeah, go ahead.
It's amazing to me how much pictures of Harmonious look like concept art. It doesn't look real.
It's really an incredible show. And I mean, it photographs so beautifully. I'm still not 100% comfortable with it. Are you laughing
at the chat? The chat's great.
Oh, okay.
Ignore it.
This image I shot through the windows of the restaurant that sits on the water from Mexico. That's name is dropped out of my brain. No, Hacienda. And so you can see the way the barges would appear through the window if you were seated there for a dinner around the time of the show. Oh, this is just random dessert over at.
I love that idea of just showing what the major stuff looks like from all around the park.
That's what I love.
That needs to be some articles.
It was weird. Okay, so with this show, I was taken aback by the lack of a visibility of that main centerpiece from around World Showcase. So when I was at the Stave Church, which was a place that we would often watch reflections before, that Stargate image, that center stage, you can't see that display when you're there because the angle's just not right. You can see all the other barges, but you can't see that center barge. And I am not at a point with that show where I'm comfortable enough yet saying what percentage of, how much that reduces your show. Because I'm someone who loves to watch Magic Kingdom fireworks from Fantasyland by Snow White Mine Train. Even though they have all those projections and whatnot, for me, a fireworks experience is more about the concussive nature of it. And so I prefer to be there than to be on Main Street. Right. And so with Harmonious, it's really a dance party feel. It's a communal feel. It's not only about the show, but after the show, there's like this entire kind of element of entertainment that happens after the fireworks show, where the screens are still going and the music's still playing, and it's carrying kind of that global party feel. It kind of, in some ways, it kind of reminds me of, if you've ever watched the competitions that happen in Europe, where you have the singers from varying nations perform. I can't remember the name of it.
I know.
But it kind of reminds me of that
like
feel.
Eurovision, I think.
Yeah, it's how I envision that to be in person, in some ways.
So you heard it here, folks. Harmonious is like Eurovision.
that's kind of what it reminds me of.
I love your descriptions here,
because it's got a concert feel to it. It's different, and I want to see it more times before I decide like where I fall on the light, because it's just so different in the way it grabs me. I will say that for me, the narration really kills the vibe. For me, I'm in like a really, really great mood and like pumped and like feeling great, and then that voice comes and it's so
preachy.
No, it's not. No, it's like flat and android and sterile, and it doesn't. It's not. Most narration with Disney tends to be very warm
but not
and
Epcot.
Storytelling.
Epcot has this way of being just. I feel like Epcot is always monotone, and so.
Well, no, because it wasn't like almost Edward James Olmos before, who would like, be that deep voice, we've gathered around the campfire.
Oh yeah, but I think of that as just being.
Oh no, but
okay.
It's like
it's even worse than that.
No, this like I say, for me, this is just like non-emotional, very, very sterile. Okay. And so, like I say, for me, it took me out. So I'd like to see the show again to get a feel for that. I'm sorry I left that one picture for so long.
You did get to see it. You saw it from walking around, but then you did get a proper viewing of it. Correct?
Oh yeah. Oh no, thanks to our friends at Mouse Fan Travel. Yeah, hang on, let me.
Who we should have mentioned before now. Mouse Fan Travel, obviously, we recommend you go to Disney World during the 50th celebration. We highly recommend you use Mouse Fan Travel. They are awesome. We love them so much.
They were celebrating their anniversary, and as part of that, they booked the Italian viewing area of viewing over by Italy. And so I had the opportunity to actually see Harmonious from that spot. And these are a few of the pictures that I took from there. But like I say, once again, it was enjoyable, but I was there with friends. We were having, desserts and enjoying each other's company. And I, was having lovely conversations about stuff. And it was just a really fitting and beautiful cap to the evening.
So Max says that he loves Harmonious. I feel it's like one of those shows I'm just going to like more and more each time I watch it. I've only been able to see it on video, and this is Gio's experience. I've only been able to see it on video. On video, I did not expect to like it based on the stuff I was hearing, and I actually loved it. But you've gotten to see it, properly, as well as just kind of walking around. I know you want to see it more before you form a full impression, but what's your overall on Harmonious? You seem to like it.
I liked Harmonious much. I had watched the stream, and I liked it much more in person. I don't know how or why, but there was a vibrance to it that was lacking when I watched it on the stream. It was as if certain elements of the score weren't connected with me on the stream. It was a bit flat, but in person it was amazing. But like I say, for me, it's about the there's Mickey Mouse on Spaceship Earth.
Rebekah loves those classes.
I too. They're too much fun to play.
So Harmonious is definitely one I think Rebekah and our whole team at LP pretty much thinks is a winner. I love Reflections of Earth. As far as I'm concerned, Reflections of Earth is the second best nighttime thing Disney's ever done, and they could have kept that going for another 15 years. But a lot of people feel like it's run its course, and Harmonious is a worthy successor.
Yeah, I'm super torn on to be honest. I'm not sure. I'm super torn. I'm super torn on it. I think there's part of me that it's a bit. I need to get more comfortable with its flow, I think is what the problem is, because it feels like a disjointed playlist.
And that's
to me still.
That's something that Reflections of Earth got. So, and the highlight of ROE, I'm gonna be lingo guy.
Yeah.
The highlight of ROE was the music, and it just flowed so well, start to finish. You could, I mean, you could close your eyes, and the show was almost as good, which may not sound like a compliment, but the music was just so perfect.
So. And one of the challenges for me when it comes to Harmonious is that because it features so much fountain work, I want the fountains to be more vibrant. Like I wanted them to be more like World of Color fountains, where it's like a color, a liquid red or a liquid blue. Like I wanted them to be, in essence, hydro fireworks, and it didn't feel as much like that as I was expecting. So that may be my expectations. That may be my angle. I don't know.
Sparklet show at SeaWorld?
No, see, I really
love that.
I love the Sparklet show at SeaWorld. You're asking the wrong person. I love the Sparklet show at SeaWorld's amazing. It's still one of my more favorite theme park experiences. But it took you through the seasons with fountains and like.
Does anyone out there remember the Sparklet show at SeaWorld? Water show.
It was amazing.
Indoor water show.
So simple but amazing. Just like Journey into Imagination. Simple but amazing.
It's like Tony. Simple but amazing.
Okay, sure. So Epcot's nighttime entertainment is beautiful. And then when you are exiting the park if you're coming out this main entrance and it's transitioned into the beacon of light, is it magic? It's stunning. And then the monorails with that undercarriage cover. I mean, I know you guys have all seen that, but it's really, when the show's over and everything, I love to just the way the planters are out there now. You can just find a nice spot. This breeze is so often blowing through. No, not underneath the spaceship, or out here in the main area. It's blowing through. It's just so beautiful. And yeah, like I say, give yourself some time to enjoy that as well. Don't just rush out.
That seems to be the
grab a drink. And not necessarily alcoholic, but I mean, just have a beverage that you can enjoy and find a spot and soak it in before you leave, because it is amazing. That is
the unanimous winner, I think, among all the 50th stuff.
Oh, totally.
Is the Spaceship Earth Beacons of Magic. Everybody loves that, and I so cannot wait to see it. That's right up my alley.
Yeah, no, it is so beautiful. I can't even believe how simply beautiful it is.
Did you get to see Enchantment?
I did. I saw Enchantment.
That's the new fireworks show at the Magic Kingdom.
It is not my favorite yet. I'm unsure if it will become a favorite. I used to leave. I actually saw it twice. I saw it from. On the 50th, I was inside Magic Kingdom and saw it from over by Snow White Mine Train, which is one of my favorite locations to watch fireworks. Some of the things with Enchantment that I have to get used to that I think maybe kind of knocked it down a little bit in the initial viewing for me is the build up to Tinkerbell is not auditory as much as it is visual. So the fact that I wasn't on Main Street impacted that experience, because my understanding is that it's like an animation and
it's an incredible visual.
She flies, and that's amazing. But I'm so used to kind of the dialogue and the musical buildup, and it's like, whoa, wait, Tinkerbell's flying. It was like, whoa, suddenly she was there, which is also great, but just different. I thought that and then the other time I saw it was from Bay Lake Tower, later in the week. So, so I got with the Cleveland Browns fan.
Well, she was grumpy.
No, she's in a good mood. She loves this show. This is my friend Anita, and she adores it. And Happily Ever After used to be one of the songs, one of the soundtracks that she would use, because she likes, she goes for those morning runs. She's one of those morning run people. And Happily Ever After was among the tunes that she would use to kind of get her fired up in the morning. And she really felt like Enchantment will be a similar kind of, keep you pumped. And once again, for me, I did not find the narration helped with this. But no, it does. It does. Happily Ever, man, when that voice comes on, every time I cry. Happily Ever After, every time I cry.
Believe.
Enchantment, I got misty. I did get misty. Okay. So it had an emotional impact. But Happily Ever After, I was like teary girl. It was embarrassing every time, and without fail, right?
How about Kite Tails? I'm just kidding. Don't get there yet. We're on here.
So, but the thing I like about Enchantment and what they're doing with their evening shows is that they're bringing in stories that are more familiar to people now. I mean, you had Coco, you had Moana, Tiana. These are stories that are familiar to audiences now. They even dropped into Saludos Amigos over in Harmonious. So I'm interested to see it in the park. The visuals that I've seen, it seems like the use of Main Street isn't as impressive as I expected based upon the discussions previously. The animation that I could see from Bay Lake Tower was really, it was cool from Bay Lake Tower. The dishes dancing on the side of the castle, that was pretty cool. So yeah, I'm eager to kind of get a better feel for Enchantment. But right now, it's, I'm still, but Happily Ever After, it took a while for it to grow on me. I'll be honest. I wasn't a fan of Wishes, so that was never my thing. I was not somebody who was a fan of Wishes. So, because I was a huge fan of Disneyland's Believe, and so for me, Wishes felt like a kind of a step down as far as the evolution of evening fireworks shows. But so
okay, so Harmonious and Enchantment were the two biggies, and then Animal Kingdom got something new called Kite Tails. What was your Kite Tails experience?
I didn't get to see it. I tried several times, and the circumstances, it got canceled twice, and then when I finally did see it, it was a what they call a B show, I guess. So it was simply the kites, not the character portion of it. So I didn't get to see the crash boom of Kite Tails. So that was a little disappointing. But
and as far as our opinion from watching videos or whatever, you guys have all seen the same videos we have. Form your own opinion.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I'm just surprised that they were comfortable with the visual.
Crash Boom character.
Yeah, that's it. It's like I just envisioned like Party Gras back in the day, if they just like laid out on the train station when they got to that. That's just weird to me that was just part of the design element. But you adapt, you get used to it. I think I feel like if the landing zone felt more designated landing zone rather than just those seats over there, I'm lucky it didn't hit me. I'd feel different about it. I mean, because it's not that big of a deal in reality.
It's certainly not a big
deal.
But
it's one of those things where jarring. As a guest, as a guest, you're like, whoa, oh, that's supposed to happen. It's like it's weird to have a moment.
Can you imagine being there with
it's weird to have a daytime show where you're like, and something went horribly wrong. Oh wait, it didn't.
Can you imagine being there with your child, your 4-year-old child, going, look, there's Simba flying through the air, pretending like that's really him flying through the air,
I'm not doing that.
And then splat.
No,
good thing, because your child would be traumatized for life.
I don't think anybody's doing that. When the balloons went down the street, you went like, oh look, there's Mickey Mouse.
You don't think so?
No.
What? That's no stranger than some 6-foot guy walking down the street dressed as Mickey Mouse?
That doesn't happen.
Thank you very much. All right.
What are you talking about?
Moving right along.
That's weird.
Do you like eating specialty food?
Yes. The desserts were
the celebration cupcake?
Yes. Yes, I do.
You really do.
I did. This one was so good. I'll be honest though, I usually scrape off like most of the first thing I do is I take a picture of it and then I scrape most of that off and set it off to the side and kind of portion it out because I usually find that there's way too much of that compared to the cake. And this cake had some yummy filling right? And so then you end up with almost no cake. It's all like sugary stuff.
Did you get to enjoy the Mr. Toad one that Jeremiah did?
Oh no, I stayed away from that. Oh no, that thing looks horrifying. And Jeremiah's reaction to it, if you haven't had a chance to see that, you should go find that on Laughing Place, because yeah, no, that did not look fun. So yeah. Okay. Anybody? Is there anything else you guys want to know about? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
A couple more things you have to. I want to hear your opinion of the Electrical Water Pageant.
So good. Okay. The beautiful thing about the Electrical Water Pageant is that they've just added a delightful little like intro and outro to it in celebration of the 50th. And the Electrical Water Pageant is not something that you feel like I got to get there right when it starts, right? It's something that you kind of stumble upon. And so the nice thing is if you get there just before it starts, you get to see this. And if you get there partway through and you stick around, then you get to see it. And so I really like the fact that they worked within the reality of what the Electrical Water Pageant is, rather than transform it, because it's not. I loved that they did that.
And there was one major attraction that opened with the 50th, and that would be Remy's Ratatouille Adventure.
Remy's was surprising to me. I did not realize that it was going to have as much in person. Okay, I didn't think it was going to be as wet as it was.
Like going to Legoland Discovery Center.
Yeah. So because there's like I guess a mopping portion, or so. I think that's how we get what I can't remember exactly. But it was. So when we initially sat down in the seat and I grabbed a hold of the lap bar to pull it in, or no, just I can't remember if I had to pull it in or if I just put my hands on it. It was very wet, and because it was a really super hot day of Florida, my initial reaction was like recoil. Was like, oh, and then it was like, oh wait, there's a lot of water everywhere. So I'm not exactly sure. And then on the ride is like, oh, okay, you get squirted on that. But like I say, I hadn't done a lot of reading up on it, so I wasn't that familiar. But I really liked it. The other element that I enjoyed about the ride was that the touch point didn't have a Mickey head on it, because it's a rat ride, right? And so it had an R for Ratatouille. I thought that was kind of cute.
Are you sure it's not for Remy?
Yeah, okay, fine, it's Remy. I think it's for Ratatouille.
Okay. Could be for ride.
Yeah, it could be. Geo says the mop and the wine bottle popping. I didn't remember getting wet when the wine bottle popped, but maybe that's because I was too startled. The being in the queue and then the transition. I mean, these are all things that Laughing Place and many other places have written about. But you're in the queue, and there's the moments where you can tell visually that they're telling you that you are now tiny. You weren't tiny, now you are tiny. That's cool. Waiting there, and then the way that trackless vehicles work, I still find just fascinating to just stand there and then these vehicles just appear and they park. It's super cool. It's easy, and yet I can't imagine it's all that complicated anymore.
We had one at Legoland Discovery Center.
Right, but it's still super cool to just see this vehicle arrive at me without me being able to tell where it's coming from. So I loved that. The ride being in French was not as distracting as I thought it was going to be. When I was first hearing that, I was like, oh, that's going to be, but no, it flows much better than I expected. So that was awesome as well. I was shocked that there wasn't a through point in the land itself. There's that archway that we've all seen that you walk through to enter that new zone that's been constructed. And I really thought that was going to connect through the perfumery or whatever. But no, you turn around and come right back out where you came in. That surprised me.
Disney's known for their dead ends.
It's like one of those things. It's like, oh, okay, turn around, come back. So that was neat. Right now, Remy is boarding groups, but you can use the individual lightning lane to purchase a time slot if you prefer. I could see doing that on this ride because it is new, and with it being located where it is, it can be awkward to get to because it's on the other side of World Showcase. It's there by the Skyliner station, but it's not particularly close to the front entrance. So kind of having a known spot, I can see going with that rather than taking my chances on a virtual queue and not knowing when I'm going to have to come back. So I could see paying the money to know, be like, oh, okay, I have to be there at this time.
Right.
So I'm interested to see how quickly that sells out. It was still right seemingly available in a decent time return. The last I looked, but I know that those times are beginning to transition
People
more
are
and more.
learning.
And budgets are different. I mean, we kept joking when we were on our trip. We would, you know, look at a dessert or an alcoholic beverage and be in essence, let's see, Genie Plus for the day, or you know, my individual lightning lane, or a drink with this meal, because it's, you know, in many cases it was about the same budgetary constraint. Um, uh, so yeah, so that was kind of a scenario that we were dealing with.
Can I ask you real quick?
Yeah.
Jungle Cruise. I didn't get to do the new Jungle Cruise.
Oh, it was nice. I like the dynamic. I like they're better. Like they look better. The animatronics move better.
Okay.
You can tell that they're new. I took a picture of my cupcake wrapper. Over at the Polynesian on the anniversary day, they had complimentary pog juice in the lobby of the Polynesian, so that was fun. I enjoyed stumbling on that. I rode Peter Pan and we broke down, so I took a picture of Mr. Smee from overhead. Gideon bumped into one of his favorite YouTuber over Offhand Disney, so they paused for a picture. So that was really epic, really sweet.
Check out my kid's great shirt too.
It's fun to be able to bump into people that you've seen on YouTube and thank them. There was a gentleman who was there with his 2 adult daughters who had been an opening day cast member, and his daughters had short-assisted opening day guest and opening day guest sort of, because her mom was pregnant with her and that's how she attended. And they were just in tears as more and more people were spotting their father's shirt, were stopping to take a picture with him, and just having him be kind of a celebrity for a day was really, really sweet.
Such a beautiful thing about being there
and then
on the day.
and then this was like 5 o'clock, and the people were gathering for Enchantment, for evening fireworks, and the street was just getting more and more full. And by this point, they had paused park hopping, and I don't know if it came back. I didn't pay that much attention. I was having fun in the park. So, and there was this queue for the Emporium shop that like went down Main Street and curved back. If you wanted to get some of the more dated, like the single date items, you know, the stuff that said like I was there October 1st kind of stuff, those were at a totally different shop, and that was a virtual queue that like sold out first thing in the morning, but then was reopened later in the day. But by then most of the items I wanted were already gone, so I just was like, okay, no big deal. I'm not a merchandise person, so this wasn't a thing for me. Some of my friends were stressed because it's important. No, but I mean, it's important. Yeah, it's important to them. They're there that day. They want to get a shirt that day. And so the challenge that it was to try and get that type of stuff was frustrating. And I felt for them, because that would be really hard. You're there on the day. You want something to celebrate the day, and you kind of had to fight to get it. And I don't mean literally fight. I mean, it was just like, what? Okay, I have to pay attention to this app, or I have to, get in this queue for this number.
They didn't have a park button, did they? Like they used to.
No, but they did. But as you left, I mean, I have more than one, because I got one and Gideon got one, and I'm thankful because one of them got damaged. But as you left, they gave you this beautiful. I mean, and it's a nice size, but they gave this to you as you left the park. It was, and it's dated, right? And it says,
That's better than a button.
And they had a special park map that day too that they gave you when you came in.
Okay.
And so, and for me that's enough. So I didn't wait in any queues.
I mean, that is nice to know that you were getting something.
Yeah.
With the date on it that shows I was there without having to even spend. That's really cool.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I did see actual literal fights in the.
But they're Disney fans, really. How big a fight could it be?
So I mean, but that unfortunately that's not uncommon. I mean, I heard the same thing with D23 Expo and different things. But Small World's new facade was.
You like it?
I do. I didn't think I would, but I do. And the attraction itself is. I forgot just how much I like the Florida one, and I know that's shocking and upsetting to people, but I do. and I went. And I got to grab food at Sleepy Hollow, and I'll be honest, this was the worst I've ever had at Sleepy Hollow. But given, I mean, my waffle was soggy. My chicken, can you see that one over there? It's like cooked almost to the point where you can't. It's like
That's
just
surprising because in general it was a banner day of dining at
well, that's
Magic
what I'm
Kingdom.
saying. But I was able to walk up and get my food in 10 minutes and sit down. And unfortunately, dining was a bit of a mess at Magic Kingdom on the 50th. But not for me. Around 5 o'clock, I very easily grabbed a waffle. But they had this cool paper with your quick service items. Like if you got a pretzel or this, it had the classic Magic Kingdom font, that classic Mickey head, some ride tickets. It was those kinds of things are really sweet. I got a kick out of that, and so I took pictures. And then so many guests in costumes. This family, yeah, no, you're right. Mess is understatement.
It was bad.
It was really bad.
But you got to be there on the first, so
yeah, no,
try not to let it ruin your day.
Yeah, that was the thing. But no, I don't understand why it was as bad as it was, and why they weren't able to adapt to handle whatever glitch or malfunction was going on. I was very disappointed because I actually started my day in another park and hopped over to Magic Kingdom after the like in the park hopping later in the day, so I wasn't there all day. But this family was all dressed up in like the lands of Magic Kingdom, right? You have Adventureland, Fantasyland, Tomorrowland, Frontierland, Main Street, and Liberty Square. And so there was a lot of this going on. It was really, really fun. And even the backs of their outfits were designed with like little sayings from each of the lands, just in case you couldn't quite get it by the outfits themselves. And I figured if they were dressed like this, they wanted to get their picture taken. So I walked over to them and said, "Hey," and it was funny because once I started, like a little line formed of people taking pictures. But it was fun. And Dumbo was gorgeous. And now my screen's gonna go dark because I clicked on a video, so it'll take a moment. But yeah, I had a really great time doing all of that. Here, you talk for a minute.
She had a really great time doing all of that. I am jealous she got to be there on the first. I got to be at Disneyland on its 50th. She did too. Wait, we were both there, weren't we? Yeah, on the actual 50th. May 5th was a different kind of day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they celebrated their 50th on May 5th, and that was a weird thing, and I got to be there. But I'm sad I did not get to be there on October 1st. It seemed like so much fun. My son managed to go to all 4 parks on October 1st, hanging out with one of our great friends, and I'm very happy for him getting that experience, because I don't know, there's something really special about being able to park hop on all 4 parks on the actual 50th anniversary.
Yeah, so for me, being at Magic Kingdom on the 50th birthday was so much fun. I mean, I enjoy seeing the excitement of everybody there. The Country Bear Jamboree was full. People were singing along.
Following on Twitter was fun because people were, despite the complaints they were having a great time.
No, and that's the thing, is it's easy to kind of get sucked into just the negative of it, because that's what's going to stand out more. But I will tell you, I was there. I mean, those crowds were large. I was watching Enchantment. Okay, I watched Enchantment from Fantasyland. I was standing right near the entrance of Winnie the Pooh and Mine Train, because I like to see Magic Kingdom fireworks from that zone, because I like to have the castle fireworks to my left and the large fireworks to my right. I like to be immersed in fireworks. That's my thing. And so the fireworks end, I travel through Tomorrowland. The bypass is open, right? That main thoroughfare there behind Main Street that they open. So I was able to exit there. I reached the train station, dead stop. I'm like, uh-oh, like nothing was moving. I'm like, oh no, what's about to happen? And as I'm doing this, I hear the loudspeakers saying, hey, the park's going to be open for another period of time. Go find something to do. I mean, the way that they say it in the Disney magic
Just
way.
like that.
And but Gideon had been with our friends, and I was like, it was late now, and I was like, I'll go pick him up. Little did I know he was watching a movie with them, and it wasn't even done yet, and so I could have taken my time, but I was focused on getting back, and I was like, oh, this is going to take a while. And I couldn't figure out why we were stopped. And I was envisioning like the other side of it. If it's crowded all the way back here, what's it going to look like on the other side? Well, then I realized what was happening was they were distributing these things, right? And so there were a handful of cast members standing there with all of those draped over them in individual bags. And as you would walk, you would grab them. And so, that's what was halting the flow right there initially. But even with that distribution, right? So they're distributing one of those to each of the people leaving. I still went from being in Fantasyland for fireworks to being on a bus to studios, which is where I had started my day, in under half an hour.
Too impressive any time, let alone on the birthday.
And I was shocked. I was really surprised. So, they were, I was like, wow, that was impressive.
Nice way to end the day.
Yeah, well, it was okay. And on the bus, people were in such a fun mood on the bus. People were discussing favorites. What did you do today? What were some things you did today? I ate at this restaurant. Oh, have you ever eaten here? There was all sorts of, never eat at this restaurant was happening, which was funny because somebody was like, never eat at Coral Reef. And it was funny because in the trip, I ate at Coral Reef like the next day and had an amazing meal. And so did the people I was with. And so I just thought that was really funny. And then this other person was really recommending, I want to say Hoop to Do. They were just really singing the praises of Hoop to Do. There was all sorts of trading of information regarding restaurants. There was just this excitement on the bus itself. People were in it felt like a giant high school, college, family reunion. That's how it felt. And it was really fun.
Sounds really fun.
It was.
My portion was fun too. And I think my final meal, we talked about food so much, my final meal in Central Florida was a Cheesecake Factory, and I enjoyed it. Yeah. Anything else? Show one of those aerial pictures as we sign off, because
I'm going to try. I don't know if I'm going to be able to.
The final view a lot of us get of Walt Disney World.
This is actually
Central Florida attraction.
That's actually Universal.
Is as you're taking off, if you're lucky, you get a nice view. So Disney World will never be complete as long as there's imagination left in the world. And I believe right now they're imagining a Tron coaster over in Tomorrowland. So yeah. Rebekah got a nice view of that as she took off.
Yeah, I think. Gideon was really focused on Universal when we took off. So here's some nice pictures of Universal as well. But just a really, really just amazing trip.
So this was a magical trip. I got to Frozone was lucky enough to get his picture taken with me. Over in Disney's Hollywood Studios. We didn't even mention the Fab 50 statues, but they're pretty cool to see in person. That's a really impressive thing. Anything else we want to mention before we sign off? We've only been going for 2.25 hours.
No, that's it. I didn't even think we would go this long, but it was a lot of fun, and thank you guys for joining us to hear about it. We will be sure. We're going to include some links to articles down below on a lot of the items that are happening during the 50th. Laughing Place has an amazing group of people who write all about Central Florida and Walt Disney World and Universal Studios and Legoland. Tony and Mike Mack and Jeremiah. They're over there in the East Coast making sure that everybody stays on top of all things Florida. And then out here in California, we've got Luke, we've got Mike C., dealing with what's happening here on the West Coast. So, Laughing Place.
You've got Edith in Paris, got friends in Tokyo, all over the place. And and Donna, thank you for making sure we did this. I hope you enjoyed it, Donna.
This was an invitation by Donna. She's like, I want to hear about your trip. Share with us your trip. So Donna, this was for you. As always, if you have any questions, Doobie at Laughing Place. You can email Doobie at Laughing Place. We're happy to answer questions. We lived in Orlando for a decade. We visit probably seasonally now. We're probably there 3 to 4 times a year. Numerous people for Laughing Place actually reside in Florida. So if we don't have the answer, we can ask them the answer. For the answer, we've eaten at almost every restaurant on property at this point. We've stayed in just about every hotel. We only haven't stayed at the Poly and the Riviera at this point. So we can do our best to give you answers about what it's like to actually be there. And the majority, like 98% of those, were trips on our own, not invited trips.
Right. Yeah. We spend plenty of money to go to Disney World.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again very much for joining us. Please, if you haven't already, take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Click the like button on this particular video. Ring the bell so you get notified when we go live and premiere new videos, as we do often tomorrow.
Tomorrow we will have Disney Parks Talk live, which is when we do kind of a roundup of what's happening at the East and West Coast parks, along with International. On Tuesday, we have a live merchandise show we call Barely Necessities. We kind of do a roundup of various Disney products that you can find on Shop Disney and elsewhere. We've also got a Marvel headline roundup that we offer. I think that's on Wednesdays. Okay, good.
With Mac.
Yes.
And of course, Tuesday and Saturdays on 7:30 p.m. Pacific, we do Disney Trivia Live with myself and my son and Rebekah in her preferred location, off camera, voice only, doing research.
Sure.
So this has been a lot of fun. I love sitting next to my wife and talking about Disney. When we started Laughing Place 20 plus years ago, this was not a possibility.
Nope.
And it's a lot of fun.
We used to publish pictures that were this big.
It was a different internet back then.
So different back then.
So it's a lot of fun just to be able to sit and talk Disney, see some of our friends out there in the chat and answer some questions. And hopefully some new friends got to enjoy this as well. And you can become a part of our Laughing Place family. So thanks very much. And we will see you guys